Today is Anglo-Maratha, Mysore, and Sikh. These three, and we'll see. We have to do subsidiary lines and doctrine of lapse also, but we'll see about that. Today, this is the last of the themes which are extremely descriptive. As I said, after this it will become better in land revenue policy, all logical, all conceptual. Yeah. Carnatic and Bengal. The 7 years war. Thereafter, we went to Bengal, understood the black hole incident and the black hole tragedy, as you want to call it, and how that became the pretext for Clive to come and do the Treaty of Alinagar, and then the internal conspiracy of Jagat Seth and Omi Chand, which in turn leads to the Battle of Plassey, which is just a basic small skirmish because nobody was standing with Sirajuddaulah. Thereafter, we saw how Mir Jafar is going to technically bankrupt Bengal, loot Bengal, or give the British the license to loot. He will become frustrated. He will thereafter call the Dutch in 1759 to remove the English from Bengal. Clive was too smart for that. Thereafter, Mir Qasim is appointed. Mir Qasim could see that they are using Bengal, so he shifted the capital from Murshidabad to Munger. Thereafter, also what we call as the concept of removing the whole custom duty system in Bengal so as to bring everybody equal with the British, which in turn led to Mir Qasim being hounded out of Bengal. He goes to Awadh, gets the help of Sujauddaulah and Shah Alam II, and thereafter the Battle of Buxar. The Battle of Buxar is seen as the more decisive of the victories over anything else, which is because it leads to the grant of Diwani to the British. The British very categorically did not take the Nizamat powers because it was much more a headache for day-to-day administration, and we'll come back to the story when we'll talk about the judicial and the ICS in that sense. Basic point is, the most important thing which we understood was that the British had now got territorial power in Bengal itself. They had now become the Diwan of Bihar, Bengal, and Orissa. But more than that, the Battle of Plassey was just the foot in the door. Buxar opened up everything, and now the British controlled most of eastern India in that sense. We'll see the economic implications of that tomorrow when we'll talk about land revenue settlements. But today we have to complete the story, because the story is still not complete, because there are two or rather three major zones which were still left: the Marathas, Mysore, and we have the Sikhs. And today we will try to understand the basic way in the first, second, and third Maratha war, first, second, third, fourth Mysore war, and the three wars or the two wars of the Sikhs in that sense. One thing I will tell you very clearly is that don't worry about the years, because once all of this is over, I'll give you a trick. Because what UPSC will maximum do from this area for prelims is ask you the sequence, which is Bengal and Carnatic. They'll maximum ask you the sequence in that sense. And tomorrow I will give you first thing, an important trick, how to put them in sequence, because there's a very simple trick. You don't need to remember any of the dates, 40, 1740, 48, 50, that does not matter. So very simply, I will give you a trick tomorrow. Today's task is technically to finish Maratha, Mysore, and Sikh, and end the expansion of the British via direct conquest, and thereafter understand how the British start to consolidate India rather than expanding. So if everybody is with me, if everybody is on the same page with regards to this, I would like to go to now the Maratha sector. Can we go to Maratha? Yes? Come on. Okay. we have already discussed, what has happened in Bengal. We have discussed what happened in the Carnatic sector. But the most predominant power in India, the most ubiquitous and predominant power in India was the Maratha Confederacy, which technically controlled most of India at this point of time. And we now need to see how were technically the Marathas subdued and what in turn led to what we call as the first, second and third Maratha wars. Now, when you will do medieval with me, we will talk about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. We'll discuss his administration, the concept of how he created forts, the concept of his Ashtapradhan. That is something which I will do with you in medieval. Today, we will start from a point where the Chhatrapati's position goes down and rather the Peshwas come up. But for that, you need to understand two basic things first. So first and foremost, I will talk about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, but not today. We'll start with basically Balaji Vishwanath. So the basic point is that there's a backstory to this, as much as there was in Mughal decline, which I will discuss with you separately when I do ancient medieval art and culture with you. But as of right now, you need to understand two very basic things. In Maratha administration, there are two very important posts. Chhatrapati and Peshwa. Chhatrapati means king. And Peshwa means prime and finance minister. Very important position. There are others also which were in this whole constellation, Mazumdar, Sabnis, Chitnis. There's a lot of things. The basic point is, this is a relationship of how president and prime minister works. So when I say Chhatrapati, it means king. And when I say Peshwa, it means prime minister or finance minister. Can we agree to this first? Can we agree to this? Yes, because as I said, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, separate story altogether. Now, see, between Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and Chhatrapati Shahuji, before getting captured by the Mughals, Chhatrapati's power is extremely high. Never been more under Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj himself. But the period of 1650s, 1660s, 1707, this period is when there's a lot of internal issues within the Maratha Empire. And what happens is that Chhatrapati Shahuji is captured by the Mughals and he's technically not in the picture. So the person who is ruling the Marathas at this point of time is a very important personality, Tarabai. So Chhatrapati Shahuji, comes in the lineage of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. He's a very important, he was the king who got captured by the Mughals. And when he is not there, Tarabai was the person who was ruling it. But now what happens is, in 1707, what happened in 1707? The king at this point of time is Tarabai. He is under captivity, He's in captivity. Aurangzeb dies. And Chhatrapati Shahuji is released. Basically, in 1707, now there's an issue. Tarabai was ruling in the name of her son when Shahuji was under Mughal captivity. And now both Chhatrapati Shahuji and Tarabai are in the scene. So basically, there are two basic powers. And if you remember, when I taught you the first class, I told you how Bahadur Shah released Chhatrapati Shahuji. So the basic point of the matter is there are two factions which are there in Maratha Empire at this point of time. One which supports Shahuji and other which supports Tarabai. As I said, I am at one point assuming that you know Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, and that I will assume as of right now because we'll do it in medieval. That basic understanding we will do in the medieval part. As of right now, trust me that there is Shahuji and there is Tarabai. Can we agree to this? The mechanics of it and everything is a medieval story. And we'll do it. That is my promise to you. We will do it. But as of right now, there are two factions which are there because Shahuji is not important in the story, but the person I'm going to now talk about is more important. So Chhatrapati Shahuji was in Mughal captivity. He has been released. Tarabai was already ruling the Maratha kingdom, and now there's a power struggle. Now the power struggle is between Shahuji versus Tarabai. Who will technically control the Maratha kingdom or the Maratha confederacy? And the person who is standing behind Shahuji at this point of time is none other than a person called Peshwa Balaji Vishwanath. He is a towering figure, a statesman, was waiting for Shahuji to come back, was within the Tarabai administration itself, but he is the one who backs Shahuji. And because of him backing Shahuji, Shahuji is able to win this power struggle. So basically, Shahuji comes on top. But the problem is now for the Chhatrapati itself is the power of the Chhatrapati diminishes and the real power goes into the Peshwa's hand, and this is why this is called the Peshwa rule period. Because now the relationship between Peshwa and Shahuji becomes a relationship how we have today between Prime Minister and President. That basically the real power is with whom? In the Prime Minister and President relationship, real power is with whom? Is with the Prime Minister. And in this story, the real power is with the Peshwa. Basically, Peshwa Balaji Vishwanath, in his own interest, brings in Shahuji, and he now makes Shahuji a titular king, and now he rules as the real power of the Marathas. So again, I am repeating this story because Balaji Vishwanath knew that he could become, Peshwa Balaji Vishwanath knew that he would become the predominant power. It's all power politics. Shahuji is under Mughal captivity. There is one faction of Tarabai. One Shahuji comes out in 1707. Now there's a power struggle, and Peshwa Balaji Vishwanath, one of the most important personalities, backs Shahuji because he knows that he can usurp power or become powerful and introduce the real power of the Marathas. If there was one period in which the Marathas were really powerful, it was Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. And now, with the revival of the power of the Peshwa, under Peshwa Balaji Vishwanath, now the power of the Marathas will go exponentially up. So basically, Shahuji becomes the Chhatrapati, the president, and the Balaji Vishwanath becomes the prime minister, the Peshwa. But the basic power in that story is not with Shahuji, but with Balaji Vishwanath. Make sense, everyone? Because now on it will become interesting. I'll read this story out to you also so that you don't have an issue. Because I want you to be on board with this basic point. See, when we talk about the story, Chhatrapati Shahuji, who is the grandson of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, was a prisoner of Aurangzeb since 1689 and was released in 1707. Thereafter, there's a civil war which breaks out between Satara, which is Shahuji, and his aunt. They are related to each other, Tarabai. And now there is a proper struggle between Tarabai, who was ruling in the name of Shivaji II, and once her husband had died, Rajaram, and now it is Shahuji versus Tarabai. Now basically in this rivalry, Shahuji will be able to win it because of the support of none other person but Balaji Vishwanath. And thereafter, now the empire will not be ruled by Chhatrapatis, but Peshwa. Now Peshwa domination will start. Peshwa domination will start, and he is the most important personality in this period. So very simply, yes, Yuvraj, you want to study, you study. Basic point of the matter is, there are two actors here. The two actors which I'm talking about is Shahuji and Balaji Vishwanath. Balaji Vishwanath holds power. Is this clear? See, Shahuji does not hold real power. This is all power politics. It's all power politics. Balaji Vishwanath was able to, in a way, concentrate power in him. Shahuji will now just rule in the name of the Chhatrapati. Okay, now I am going to give you a very important sequence here. I will give you a very important sequence here. And for the purpose of the examination, yes, ADBC, the basic point of the matter is, for the purpose of the examination, this is a very important sequence for you. And the genesis of the first Maratha war lies in what we call as succession within the Peshwas. So please pay attention. Don't have to write it down, but just pay attention. So the first Peshwa, what is his name? What is his name? Peshwa Balaji Vishwanath. Very good. Peshwa Balaji Vishwanath. He is the one who basically concentrated power from the Chhatrapati and introduces Peshwa rule. He was so powerful that basically he was now playing with Mughals in their own court, and there was now a basic understanding which developed within the Mughals and Balaji Vishwanath, and the Mughals dare not touch Balaji Vishwanath. This is the real power. I have all the details with regards to that, but right now the real consolidator after Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj is Peshwa Balaji Vishwanath. But Peshwa Balaji Vishwanath was succeeded by a much powerful and much what we call as important personality in Maratha rule, and his name is Bajirao the First. Bajirao First, or Bajirao itself, he is considered that important personality who never lost battles consecutively. He will even go as close to Delhi as possible and defeat the Mughals also. And he will be the one who will make the expanse of the Marathas at this point. The map you see here, the expanse of the Marathas is under Bajirao the First. He's the son of Balaji Vishwanath. Now, as much as he is the consolidator and the expander, every other detail is here. Listen to me. He introduces one major problematic tendency within the Marathas. See, because there are multiple families of Peshwas, basically these are very important families which come together to form the Maratha Confederacy or Maratha Kingdom. He says that I don't want infighting between families. For example, the Bhosles, the Gaikwads, Holkars, Sindhyas, and the Peshwas, the five most important families. Peshwas themselves from Pune. Thereafter Holkars, Sindhyas, the Gaikwads, and the Bhosles. The basic point is these five are the most important families of the Maratha kingdom. And he said that I want to do one thing, which is I want to divide the whole Maratha kingdom into these families so that we don't fight. We know what is our designated place. All of them are Peshwas. They are not Chhatrapatis. The background Chhatrapati Shahuji is there, but he is just in name. Just in name. So Bajirao the First introduces an important concept called Maratha Confederacy system, under which he divides the empire, the whole empire, into families, which is the Peshwas, the Gaikwads, the Bhosles, the what is called this Holkars, and which is left? Come on, which is left? Peshwa, Gaikwad, Bhosle, Holkar. Very good. Sindhyas. Basically, these five families are the Peshwa families because they have an understanding, and basically these five control everything. The Chhatrapati family is more or less at this point of time under the Peshwa family. Now, why would this tendency be problematic? Why is this tendency problematic of dividing it into five? What is going to happen later? Very good, Aman. Great. You all know what is going to happen. If you divide stuff till the ruler, till the Peshwa is very powerful, it's okay. But what it is doing is decentralizing power. It is dispersing power. And what is going to happen is the British are going to play each of them against each other. So when power gets divided under Bajirao the First, nobody had the guts to do anything. But once the power politics will start to become problematic, the British will do what they do best, which is divide and rule. And you will see, even before the British could, or the Marathas could realize that the British are doing divide and rule, the story already had ended. Now he is going to be succeeded by, and it's very easy to remember. Just add the two names, Balaji Bajirao. And Balaji Bajirao, what is going to happen is that Shahuji is going to die in the background. So he has to install a new Chhatrapati. He will install a person called Raja Ram. Raja Ram is going to become the new Chhatrapati. And under them, Shahuji is the Chhatrapati. Basically, the real power is with the Peshwa or the Chhatrapati. Peshwa or Chhatrapati. Come on. Real power is the Peshwa. Great. Perfect. But now things will start to go south from this point forward. See, Balaji Bajirao, very able administrator, and for the consolidation of Malwa sector, and because the Mughals themselves by this point of time, 1760s and this period, 1760-65 period, are more or less useless. And in the most surprising treaties in history, in 1761, there will be a treaty which is going to happen between the Marathas and the Mughals, and the treaty will say that the Marathas will protect the Mughals against any invader, and the Marathas can now collect taxes from the whole Deccan sector and everything south of Delhi. This is a very significant moment. Okay, not 61 is the war itself, 51, yes. This is a very significant moment because now the Marathas are responsible for the protection of the Mughals. And the protection came at the right time, because now in India, Ahmad Shah Abdali, if you remember, is going to emerge. Ahmad Shah Abdali is going to emerge. He's an invader coming from Central Asia, and he threatens the Mughals. So now, under this obligation, Balaji Bajirao will send his son Vishwas Rao and three of his very important generals under Sadashiva Bhau, and they will technically face Abdali in what is very, very, very famously called the Third Battle of Panipat. First and second battle in Mughal India. Third battle is Marathas versus Abdali. And unfortunately, all battles happen in the Panipat sector because it is a natural. If you enter from the Khyber Pass, you have to cross Panipat to go to Delhi. We'll discuss that again when we talk about Babur and the concept of first and second battle. Basic point is that the third battle of Panipat, the most tragic of tragic incidents will happen, which is that Vishwas Rao will be killed in the battle with Abdali, along with Sadashiva Rao, and close to 28,000 Maratha soldiers will be martyred in this story. And basically, Balaji Bajirao, who was a very old man by this point of time, will totally lose hope, and he will also die very, very soon as he will hear that his son Vishwas Rao has died. Now, this point forward, things will start to become problematic. Now, I'm again repeating the story till this point, which is Balaji Vishwanath is the one who's what he concentrates power, becomes the real ruler of the Marathas. He himself is able to do a lot of things. We'll discuss that. But what is more important is Bajirao the First, or Bajirao, the greatest conquerors of the Marathas. He will introduce what is called the Maratha Confederacy system, but consolidate Maratha rule. Balaji Bajirao will go into an understanding with the Mughals that we are ready to, or we will protect you from any invader in return for the collection of taxes from the Malwa and the whole of the Deccan sector. And the timing of that was very problematic because Ahmad Shah Abdali will emerge in the northwestern sector. And now, under this agreement, Balaji Bajirao would have to send Vishwas Rao and some very important personalities of Marathas to fight him in the third battle of Panipat, which technically the Marathas lose. And this will destabilize Maratha rule. If till this point the story is clear, I will then go on to the next part, which is from where the British will come into the picture. Yes? What the concept of Sardeshmukhi Chauth I will discuss in medieval, but Chauth and Sardeshmukhi main. Chauth is collected as 1/4 of anything. Sardeshmukhi when you come under the rule of the Marathas. Okay. Now, I'm repeating everything, but now through the PPT, everything I've done till this point I am repeating. First point is how does Shahuji emerge and become important? And the basic point is that Balaji Vishwanath was the one who became the real consolidator of power. He's a Brahmin who had a very important career but small career in revenue administration, and thereafter was very, very important in usurping power when the Tarabai and Shahuji power struggle is there. After Shahuji was coronated as Chhatrapati, he will technically become what is called the Sena Karte, the organizer of the forces. And thereafter, he will raise the position of the Peshwas to a new level of supremacy. And then he will technically start what is considered, and he himself is considered the second founder of the Maratha state. Second founder of the Maratha state. Who is the first founder of the Maratha state? Come on. Who's the first one of the Maratha state? Very good, which is Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Now, the way Balaji Vishwanath operates is that he is the first Maratha officer to reach Delhi and now start to play with the Mughal internal politics. He got certain rights in 1719 from Farrukhsiyar. Farrukhsiyar somehow was always ready to give something as form of concessions. For instance, Chhatrapati Shahuji, who was recognized as the ruler itself, could now, in the name of the Peshwa, collect Chauth and Sardeshmukhi from 6 different provinces of the Deccan sector. And this in turn made his position very powerful, but his son's position even more powerful, which is Baji Rao. To just give you a basic understanding of Chauth and Sardeshmukhi, Chauth and Sardeshmukhi are the 2 most important taxes which the Marathas collect. Chauth itself means 1/4 of anything in order to get what is called Maratha protection. This was a tool of taking away power from the Mughals. And once you come under the Marathas itself, you add 10% more tax, which is called Sardeshmukhi, 25% plus 10%, and that's called Sardeshmukhi, and that is 2 taxes collected if you have now been conquered by the Marathas. Standard tax, we will discuss it in example-based concept in medieval India, but something which Chhatrapati Shivaji introduced in order to consolidate this area. Now, Balaji Vishwanath, clear. Can we move to Baji Rao the first? Balaji Vishwanath, understand his position, what he's doing. Right? Great. Now, the next most important personality, everything I've done with you, just consolidating, is Baji Rao the first. He technically was the one who took Maratha rule to its zenith. Brilliant commander, ambitious ruler, very clever statesman. He was the one who initiated the system of confederacy. And this is the problem. See, what he did was he divided the whole Maratha territory into the following. Peshwas controlling Pune, Bhosles controlling Nagpur, Scindias controlling Gwalior, Holkars controlling Indore, and Gaikwads controlling Baroda. Basically, this will be a very important way. Don't worry, Shalu, we'll discuss it in medieval. The basic point of the matter is that these 5 families will be the real power centers of Maratha rule, but this will be good till this point. This is the seed which will become a problem later. Now, in 1737-38, he attacked Delhi, and through the Treaty of Siroj, he now got the control of Malwa and everything between the Chambal and the Narmada. Basically, as I said, he is the one who makes this map so big, which is that the Marathas will start to control most of central India and the heart of India itself. Now, he will even defeat the Portuguese and occupy Salsette and Basin. Once they will pay off, when they will pay Baji Rao the first, he will actually release these areas back. He will then be succeeded by Balaji Baji Rao, and he made Ram Raja, or he's called Ram Raja II, as the new monarch or the titular Chhatrapati. The real authority still being with the Peshwas. So it was Shahuji and then Ram Raja or Raja Ram II, and this is basically the way they were just installing new rulers and having real power in their own hand. Now, he himself, very interesting personality, also called Nana Sahib the First. He was the one who continued the policy of going northwards, as able as his father, and he was the one who installed a new Chhatrapati also. But the problem is that he will cultivate animosity with his neighbors, which is Mysore with Hyderabad. But the biggest problematic aspect of his rule is going to be this agreement, which is the 51-52 agreement, which is that the Mughals and the Marathas will go into an understanding that in lieu of Chauth of the northwestern province, Marathas will defend the Mughals against any external threat. And now this will bring the Marathas and Abdali in direct conflict. And when the Peshwa will dispatch his minor son Vishwas Rao and Sadasiva Rao Bhau, the cousin of Nana Sahib, to go and fight in what is called as the Third Battle of Panipat, 1761. Peshwa's son, Vishwas Rao, Sadasiva Rao Bhau, and other Maratha commanders will perish, they will be martyred, and this in turn will lead to even Balaji Bajirao's death, because when he will hear his son's death in 1761, now the Maratha Confederacy is in a crisis. Now, what to do with this story? I'm again repeating it to you. Is everybody following? I'm just repeating the same story. I've given you a basic picture. We're doing the same story. The basic point of the matter is between Balaji Vishwanath, Bajirao the First, and Balaji Bajirao, everything is okay. But once the Third Battle of Panipat will happen in 1761, now things will start to destabilize, and therein will come the innocent bastards, if you want to call them, which is the British, and they will sweep in to this story. They will sweep in to this story. The basic point of the matter is there should be no confusion. Balaji Vishwanath, Bajirao the First, Balaji Bajirao, and thereafter the death of Vishwas Rao, the next son or the son of Balaji Bajirao, in the Third Battle of Panipat. Can you remember these 4 points? Four points, just basic 4 points. I'm not asking you to go into anything. I'm just asking you to be there. 3 battles of Panipat, forget the first and second, which is technically Babar and then Akbar. The basic point of the matter is Abdali versus Marathas. That will stabilize, because now things will become messy. If you find this place messy, it will start to become messy from this point forward. Can I now mess things up more if everybody is following this basic story? Okay, very good, perfect. So let us now, I'll take the opportunity to make this story even more messier, because that is where the British come in. So we know Balaji Vishwanath, thereafter we know Bajirao the First, and we know Balaji Bajirao. Now, I hope everybody is with me till this point. Please. This is okay till this point? Everybody is following me. Now, who should have been the next ruler if this third battle of Panipat would not have happened? The Marathas are involved in the Panipat battle because there's an agreement between the Mughals and the Marathas. In lieu of taxes, Marathas will protect. They were the only biggest power. Technically, Vishwas Rao should have become the next ruler. Unfortunately, Vishwas Rao is now martyred, and you don't even have Sadasiva Rao Bhau. He is also not there. And Balaji Bajirao is now dead. He has gone into shock after hearing his son's death. And now there will be a moment in which there will be two people who will try to seek power. One is called Raghunath Rao, remember his name, and the next is Madhav Rao the First. Basically, there's a small battle or internal conflict between Raghunath Rao and Madhav Rao, and please don't go into their relationships because it is going to become extremely confusing. So don't go into the relationships. Nana Fadnavis is coming. Don't worry. So Balaji Bajirao, Raghunath Rao and Madhav Rao go into a little bit of what is called power struggle. However, Madhav Rao is able to prevail. And Raghunath Rao is out of the picture as of right now. But there is already Raghunath Rao who is in the picture, who wants to capture power. Until Madhav Rao will be alive, Raghunath Rao will just wait for Madhav Rao's successor to come to power. And when in 1772 Madhav Rao the First is going to die, He will be succeeded by a person called Narayan Rao. However, fatefully, Narayan Rao will be killed by Raghunath Rao. Raghunath Rao will kill Narayan Rao and make himself as the Peshwa. Will make himself as the Peshwa. And now we have Peshwa Raghunath Rao. So basically, till this point, nobody dared. Thereafter, there's a power struggle between Raghunath Rao and Madhav Rao. And once Madhav Rao is dead, his son Narayan Rao comes to power. Raghunath Rao is going to kill Madhav Rao. And now Raghunath Rao is going to become the de facto Peshwa. But how would the other officers feel about Raghunath Rao coming to power? Tell me, how would the other officers feel? I am not going into their relationships. It is a very complex system. Would they like it or would they not like it? They would very simply start to become furious. And once that happens, the core group of Madhav Rao, under a very important personality called Nana Fadnavis. He was an officer and a very influential personality within the Maratha Confederacy. Nana Fadnavis will say, Raghunath Rao is not the real Peshwa. It should rather be Madhav Rao the second. And what Nana Fadnavis will do is, he will technically remove Raghunath Rao. But now, fatefully in the Indian story, as soon as Raghunath Rao will be removed, guess who he will go to? As soon as he is removed, guess who he will go to? And this starts the English entry. He goes to the English and the Britishers and says, you need to help me capture power, because Nana Fadnavis has appointed Madhav Rao II as the ruler, and now the English come into the picture. Are you able to follow this story? If not, if it's 50-60% clear, I'll give you a flow chart. And thereafter, now the first Anglo-Maratha war will start. Tell me, how did the English get involved? Who involved the English in this story? You tell me. Who involved English in this story? Very good, Raghunath Rao. We are all on the same page. Very good, great, perfect. Now let's see. Balaji Baji Rao will die after. Now please, if 50%, we make it 100% right now. Balaji Baji Rao will die after hearing about Vishwas Rao. Now, power struggle between Madhav Rao the first and Raghunath Rao. Madhav Rao the first prevails. After Raghunath Rao waits for death of Madhav Rao. After Madhav Rao the first is dead, Narayan Rao is appointed Peshwa. However, Raghunath, Raghunath Rao will kill Narayan Rao to come to power. He, which is Raghunath Rao, becomes Peshwa, which is Prime Minister, but the real power. And now Nana Fadnavis and old Maratha officers will get angry and annoyed, and thereafter Raghunath Rao will be removed via what is called the Bharbhai conspiracy. Very simple. Will be removed via Nana Fadnavis, and once he will be removed fatefully for the Indian subcontinent, Raghunath Rao will involve the British, and this will become the reason for first Anglo-Maratha war. Now, is it clear? Please tell me. There should be no doubt in this story now. Is it clear? Right? It is complex, but nobody is asking you this story. I can vouch for it. Nobody is asking you this story. You are doing modern India with me. I can't say Raghunatha went to the British. I have to explain everything to you. That is why I'm giving you these stories. These stories really don't matter. In the larger scheme of your preparation. Zero. Nobody is asking you these things. But these are interesting aspects, and we need to know the reason of why. If it is 90%, 80%, 70%, one revision should be enough. But I'm still revising with you. Baji Rao dies, Madhav Rao comes, he dies, Narayan Rao is killed by Raghunath Rao, Raghunath Rao is removed by Nana Fadnavis, and he goes to the British. What is the problem here? What is the confusing aspect? The names are confusing, no issue. So Madhav, Narayan, Raghunath, and thereafter Nana Fadnavis. 4 names I'm saying. That is the basic point here. Is this clear? Can I move to the war itself now? If you will read any other book, you will find it even more confusing. I am trying to give you a very simple, straightforward story so that there is no problem in your understanding generally. Right? Okay. Now. Done? Great. Very good. Now comes what is called as the first Anglo-Maratha war. The first Anglo-Maratha war. Now please listen to me very clearly. Because first Anglo-Maratha war is not one but 3 small wars in between. Now, the British will go and say to Nana Fadnavis, we believe that Raghunath Rao is the real ruler. Nana Fadnavis will say, who are you? They will say, we are the British. We are the British. So Nana Fadnavis will say, so what should I do about it? Our real king is Madhav Rao II. It is not Raghunath Rao. So the British will again insist, and they say, if you leave us with no choice, we'll have to fight. So Nana Fadnavis will say, sure, bring it up. And in the first interaction in which Raghunath Rao and the British will fight Nana Fadnavis, which is the Marathas. Marathas will literally humiliate the British. Marathas will literally humiliate the British. Nana Fadnavis will win, and they will sign what is called after this. They will sign what is called after this the Treaty of Purandar. The Treaty of Purandar. I am telling you, there are three: Purandar, then Vadgaon, and then Salbai. Under Treaty of Purandar, treaties, understandings are understandings. Now Nana Fadnavis will say, ditch this guy called Raghunath Rao. Who is this? Why are you obsessed with this guy called Raghunath Rao? And under Treaty of Purandar, the British will be made to accept that Maratha Peshwa is Madhav Rao the second. Basically, Raghunath Rao out of the picture. Now you see the level of smartness of the British. They will happily give up Raghunath Rao. They will happily give up Raghunath Rao, and they will say, okay, Madhav Rao the second is ours is also Madhav Rao the second. But the British did not get any idea of how the Marathas had actually won. Now what is going to happen is that Nana Fadnavis will give some land to the French on the west coast, and the English will say, we don't like this, why are you doing it? So Nana Fadnavis will say, okay, let's fight. You are no one to tell me what we need to do. So when the French get involved, Nana Fadnavis again is at war with the English, and the English are again comprehensively defeated by the Marathas. And there they are going to sign a treaty called the Treaty of Vadgaon. Treaty of Vadgaon, treaty is nothing but agreement. We fight and then we shake hands and say, okay. Now Treaty of Vadgaon, Nana Fadnavis say, whatever territory you got after Raghunath Rao came to power, you give it back now. You give it back now. Again, fine details don't matter, but I'm telling you, they will say, whatever you have since 1772, give it back. The British will have no other option. But when the British will give the territory back to Nana Fadnavis, they will feel happy, or they will be becoming more and more angry with this whole story. They will become more and more annoyed. They'll become annoyed. They will become angry. And now the English will finally call Warren Hastings or send Warren Hastings to India, and they will now again fight over the issue of Treaty of Vadgaon, and the English will now fight Nana Fadnavis again. But this time under Warren Hastings, the English will defeat the Marathas. And it is here that the Treaty of Salbai is signed. You all know only about Treaty of Salbai, right? You all have heard about Treaty of Salbai. Yes or no? If you haven't, Treaty of Salbai is actually in this series. There are 3 treaties within the first Anglo-Maratha war only. First win goes to Nana Fadnavis. Second win goes to Nana Fadnavis. But third win goes to Warren Hastings. And now Nana Fadnavis will have to sign the Treaty of Salbai, and under Treaty of Salbai, they will now go into an understanding that we will not fight with each other, and rather we will help each other. We will help each other, and that has a very important implication, which I will tell you for Mysore, which is for Mysore. I will tell you that. But via Treaty of Salbai, the British have gone into an understanding with the Marathas. Warren Hastings and the British, Hastings is a much more competent personality and commander, and he had a bigger army. Simple point is, what is Purandar, Vadgaon, Salbai? The minute details I will tell you. Minute details are in the PPT. But what I want from you is, right now you understand the sequence. Raghunath Rao British versus Nana Fadnavis. Nana Fadnavis wins. Nana Fadnavis versus the English because the French got some territory. Again, Nana Fadnavis wins. And now that the Vadgaon, they take territory away from it, the British are now looking for a reason to fight with the Marathas. They get it as soon as they again get involved with the French. And now Nana Fadnavis has to fight the British again. This time the Marathas are defeated. And that in turn leads to the new normal, which is that the British and the Marathas are at the same stature, and they will help each other in what is called Mutual Non-Aggression Pact. If you want, I can do two things here. I can read all of this out of the PPT, or I can tell you the second Anglo-Maratha war and the third, which are much easier than this, and then we go to the PPT. Because second Anglo-Maratha war and third Anglo-Maratha war, much easy than this. Second, perfect. So we all are on the same page. Yes, come on. Can we all be on the same page that the British have now signed the Treaty of Salbai? They are on the same page with the English, with the Marathas. There are three consecutive battles which happen, and the British come on top. Now, the second Anglo-Maratha war, is one of the worst for India, because here things will start to become extremely problematic. Now what happens is that the Treaty of Salbai has been signed. The British and the Marathas are in a good understanding. It's already been 20 years. But now Madhav Rao II dies. Madhav Rao II dies, and who is installed as the next ruler is the son of Raghunath Rao, and his name is Baji Rao II. Baji Rao II. Now, Baji Rao II, the basic point is, with Baji Rao II coming into the picture, would the other Maratha Confederacy people be happy that Raghunath Rao's son is back? No. Now, what is going to happen is there will be an internal power struggle, and now another very towering figure, Yashwant Rao Holkar, will say enough of the power being at Pune, and he will now try to take power away from Baji Rao II, and the Sindhyas will be on the side of Baji Rao II. Now basically it becomes Holkar versus Baji Rao II and Sindhyas. And any day Holkars were much more powerful than Sindhyas and Baji Rao combined at this point of time. And Yashwant Rao Holkar will defeat the alliance. But now I want you to guess what Baji Rao II is going to do. Guess what Bajirao II will do as soon as he will be defeated by Holkars? Guess. Very good. Like father, like son, Bajirao II will now seek help from the English. This is what the English were waiting. And rather than actually getting help, Bajirao II is going to sign a disastrous alliance, or the concept of what we call as subsidiary alliance with the British, also called the Treaty of Basin. Subsidiary alliance is something which I will discuss with you in much more detail once these wars are over, but I'll tell you one simple thing. Subsidiary alliance is technically giving up your own army and making the British army your army. Basically, subsidiary alliance is like a poison which kills you slowly. So Bajirao II will go into an alliance, Poona will go into an alliance with the British, and the British will thereafter restore the power of Bajirao II, and now the Holkars and Scindias will stay away from Poona and the Peshwas, and the British will try to subdue the other families, but that will not be possible at this point of time. However, what the Second Anglo-Maratha War has done is made the Marathas fully subordinate to the British. Simple point is, Madhav Rao II dies, Bajirao II comes to power. He's the son of Raghunath Rao. Nobody likes Raghunath Rao. Therefore, there will be internal power struggle between Holkars and Scindias. That is why I told you, Bajirao I, the Maratha Confederacy problem was this, that once there is confusion, there will be fighting. Holkars fight the Scindias and Poona, which is Bajirao II. Bajirao II and Scindias get defeated by Holkars, but Bajirao II moves to the English. English sign what is called subsidiary alliance. Subsidiary alliance is the concept that you disband your own army and let the British army be your own army. Basically, the Peshwa rule was fully destroyed. I will talk to you about how subsidiary alliance takes away power from the king in much more detail, but trust me, it is a slow poison, and this in turn will make Bajirao II the king again, the Peshwa again, but now the power of the Marathas has been diluted. Is this point clear? Because third Anglo-Maratha War is nothing. Third Anglo-Maratha War is nothing at all. Okay. Third Anglo-Maratha War is nothing but everybody waking up. In the third Anglo-Maratha War, Bajirao II realizes what mistake he has done. Bajirao II realizes his mistake. He says to the Holkars, one second, third Anglo-Maratha War, where Bajirao and the second plus Holkars plus Scindias plus Gaikawads and plus the Bhosles now fight the British. Who won the second? English. Technically, Bajirao II won, but there was no point. The English won. And the third Anglo-Maratha War, all of them will realize There's a realization that the British are too powerful, and unfortunately that was technically true, and the British will defeat each one of them separately and annex Maratha territory and make Marathas a subsidiary alliance partner, and the greatest of all dynasties and empire had now been chopped up by the English, and their internal politics had made sure that the only answer to the English was now dead. And this is basically the story of the Marathas. Third is everybody starts to realize that there's a problem. They all come together. It's too late. It's too late. Subsidiary alliances that we go into an alliance. I'm going to protect you, basically making the king more or less useless. I'm again giving you the basic summary of everything, which is that, again, listen to me. Very simply listen to me, and I will read it out to the PPT. Listen to me. What is the Anglo-Maratha war? See, were the Marathas a possible substitute to the Mughals and an answer to the English? Yes or no? Yes. And Balaji Vishwanath, Balaji Bajirao and Balaji Bajirao showed that they were very, very powerful. They were very, very powerful. And if they're very, very powerful, the problem starts with whom? Who was the one who dragged the Marathas into the English politics, or the English into the Maratha politics? Very good. Raghunath Rao. Now, Raghunath Rao, what he did was, he gave the British an entry into Maratha politics. Though the Raghunath Rao will be ditched, English finally did what they do best, which is to enter into internal politics. Nana Fadnavis will be a very good answer to the English. 2 battles he will fight. 3rd battle he will get defeated himself. But the English knew that the Marathas are too powerful at this point of time, and they said handle with care. That is why the difference between the first and the second battle is 20 years. The British knew that the Marathas are too powerful. Let them destroy themselves. And that moment is going to come when Madhav Rao II is going to come to power. And he will be there. When he will die, Baji Rao II will come to power. There will be internal fighting. Baji Rao II will again involve the British. Now the British will not go for small alliances. They will go for what is called the greatest of all, which is subsidiary alliance, in which you make the ruler more or less useless, and Baji Rao II will start to rule under the comfort of the British. However, within 2 to 3 years, Baji Rao II will realize he has done a major mistake. Now all Maratha kingdoms will try to come together and fight the English. But by the time the 3rd Maratha war happens, English were too powerful, and they will defeat each one of them separately to create what we call as the Deccan presence of the English. Are you getting the larger story here? Again, the basic larger story here. For me, nitty-gritties don't matter. The T does not matter. What matters is what is the implication. Unfortunately, because of internal fighting, because of disunity, because of Raghunath Rao, because of Baji Rao II, the Marathas, who could have been the real rulers of India, had now destroyed themselves itself. This is why did they not come together? This is the problem for India, not since this period, but since the medieval period. Everybody is obsessed with their own understanding. A handful of 100 Englishmen had now basically taken Carnatic, Bengal, and now Marathas also. This is the problem. This is called myopic politics. Very, very short-sighted politics. Very short-sighted politics. But the real smart power in this whole story is who? The real smart power in this whole story is who? The British. They just wait and watch. They don't push the issue. They wait and watch. They wait. How will they destroy themselves? And they wait. Simply wait. And they waited for the first one. They waited more for the second one. Third one, the English were already too powerful. Can I now tell you the story from the PPT? I hope this, see, as I said, this is the only last painful section, which is these wars and their treaties. After this, it will start to open up. I am telling you the implications of this, and rather than the nitty-gritties. I'll give you a mains question. You will realize what type of question comes. Basic point is, Marathas, whose fault was it that the basic alternative to the British destroyed themselves? You tell me. Simple. Very good. It is the myopic and very, very short-sighted politics of Raghunath Rao. If he had not got the British involved, maybe the answer would have been different. But the point is, once the English got an inroad, thereafter already there was internal division already based on Baji Rao's concept. Great. Perfect. Now let's read this story out. And as I said, please, simple point. Don't have to get caught up in treaties. There is an obsession of students with treaties and wars. I will give you the trick to learn the wars, and I'll give you a trick to learn the treaties. I'll give you a trick to learn the treaties also. You never have to learn any sequence in their dates. I will give you a trick and you will realize it will become extremely easy for you. Can I move to the PPT? If you are 50%, 60% still sure, one revision will make everything fine. If you're still able to follow, you're able to tell me reasons, the point of this discussion is clear, right? Is this method working or should I change it? Because I'm very simply going in a very standard direction. I tell you the larger picture, then we look at the PPT, then we take a summary. Two revisions in the same period. We do the larger picture, then we do the nitty-gritty, and then we do the summary. Perfect. Great. Now, let us discuss the first Anglo-Maratha war. So we've discussed this part, which is the Peshwa. See, as I said, Madhav Rao I comes to power in 1761 and will rule till 1772. 1761, 17-year-old Madhav Rao will come and become the Peshwa after his father Baji Rao Balaji Baji Rao will die. He will also have a regent. Regent means a mentor, and that mentor was nothing but Raghunath Rao. And till Madhav Rao will remain a minor, Raghunath Rao will technically be the one who will rule. But as soon as he becomes a talented soldier and statesman, Raghunath Rao will be removed from the picture. And now he will be the one who will take the Maratha legacy forward. However, his death is going to fully destabilize the story. With Narayan Rao, Madhav Rao and Baji Rao, this is the period of rapid decline of the Maratha kingdom. So let us discuss what is actually happening. The basic point is, there are two reasons for the first Anglo-Maratha war to happen. The two reasons is, there's a succession dispute between Raghunath Rao and Narayan Rao after the death of Madhav Rao I, and it is also about who will control the western coast and its trade. Now, after the death of Madhav Rao, Nana Fadnavis will enter and appoint Madhav Rao II as the king once they will realize that Raghunath Rao had murdered Narayan Rao to come to power. So very simply, because Raghunath Rao had murdered Narayan Rao after the death of Madhav Rao, basic point is Madhav Rao II will be installed. As soon as Raghunath Rao will be removed, he will move to the British. And this is called, again, another treaty, if you want to remember, Treaty of Surat, under which the English and Raghunath Rao will join forces, and they will now start to fight for control. But the basic point is, when the first battle will happen, the British will be defeated and the Treaty of Purandar will be signed. Under Treaty of Purandar, Raghunath Rao was now removed from the picture itself, and revenues of the district were retained by the British. Nana Fadnavis said no issues. But the second round is going to happen when Nana Fadnavis will grant some part of a port to the west coast to the French. English will retaliate by sending forces to Pune. English will have a humiliating defeat, as a lot of you pointed out, which is the Battle of Talegaon. The prelims relevant concept is very simple. Prelims relevant concept is very simple. I will tell you that once everything is done. Don't worry. Now, the English surrendered by mid-January, January 9, 1779, and Treaty of Vadgaon is going to be signed. British will retain, or whatever territory was conquered by the British after 1773 should be returned and shared to the Marathas. So the Marathas have now gone to the understanding. But the basic point is, now Warren Hastings will start to become extremely aggressive and start to capture Ahmedabad basin area. This will bring him with the conflict with Nana Fadnavis. And once now Nana Fadnavis is going to fight with Warren Hastings, Hastings is going to win, and they will go and sign what is called the Treaty of Salbai. Treaty of Salbai, Madhav Rao II is recognized as Peshwa. Salsette will be now under the possession of the English, and the territories captured after Purandar will be restored to the Marathas. So now everything come back to status quo. Wherever we are, we remain. Now the basic point of the matter is the British will realize that the Marathas are too strong. That is why you see the Treaty of Salbai is 1782, and the next war is 1803. For close to 20 years, they will not touch the Marathas. So the first Anglo-Maratha war clear. What is the basic concept? One after the other, and end Treaty of Salbai. Perfect? Great. Now, the second Anglo-Maratha war simply comes, which is that once Madhav Rao II will die in 1795, this will in turn lead to the son of Raghunath Rao, Baji Rao II, to come to power. And now the Marathas were the only major power left outside the British control itself. In between this, Mysore war had already happened. I will discuss that as soon as we take the break. The British had now decided to put an end to the Maratha challenge, and now Wellesley will start to look for opportunities to go and take the Maratha tech sector. That will come because of the British clever diplomacy and the way they could divide the Marathas. By 1802, Madhav Rao II and Sindhyas were fighting with Yashwantrao Holkar for real power. And as soon as Baji Rao II will be defeated, he will go under the protection of the British and sign what is called the subsidiary alliance under the Treaty of Byzin. In this act, the Peshwa will become very dependent on the British, and this will horrify all the other Maratha chieftains. But basically, after this, there was no chance. The British now had their tentacles, their roots into Maratha state itself. Now, under the Treaty of Byzin, the following was agreed. Subsidiary alliance with Baji Rao II. Peshwa accepted the company's protection for a pay of annual subsidy. So the British will now get money to protect the Peshwa. English army will now be stationed at Pune. Foreign affairs will also be taken care by the British. Peshwa will give Surat to the British. Peshwa will also give up all claims of Chauth, which is taxation from Hyderabad. This is the British scratching the back of the Hyderabad sector. Now British are there permanently in Maratha territory. This is the end of Maratha independence. After reading this, do you really think anything was left? You tell me. Do you really think that anything was left? Everything was already given up. Foreign affairs, army, Surat was given. Surat was given. And basically, after this, they all will realize by the 1817 period that the Marathas now wanted to overthrow the British. They will have a united front under the Peshwa. However, the Marathas will literally fail, because by 1817, the British will literally fight Peshwa Baji Rao II at Pune. They will then go and fight with the others. When there's confusion, they will have no coordination, nothing at all. Nagpur and Gwalior will be defeated separately, and basically they will defeat each of them comprehensively separately. So Peshwa will be defeated in one sector, Scindia will be defeated in another sector, Holkar will be defeated in another sector. Don't have to learn this, obviously. The basic point of the matter is that now by the time the Marathas realized that something had actually happened, the British had been already too powerful, and basically through the first, second and the third Anglo-Maratha war, the story was already over. Is this clear? I will give you a verbal summary again and then we'll take a break. Is everybody with me? Last two wars left, Mysore and Sikh. I told you this is the only descriptive long section. Everything else is logical. Right? Okay. Now listen to me again. I'm giving you the fourth summary. If it does, this is how we go about it. Larger picture, PPT, again summary. The basic point is, because I now want to go to Mysore. First point. Balaji Vishwanath becomes powerful. Balaji Vishwanath, Bajirao the first and Balaji Bajirao powerful. However, Balaji Bajirao goes into an alliance with the Mughals. That in turn leads to him getting involved in the third battle of Panipat. First mistake done, which is getting involved in Mughal politics and taking on Abdali. That in turn will lead to the death of Vishwas Rao, and now Balaji Bajirao will die. This will in turn lead to a power struggle. Once Madhav Rao will come to power, Raghunath Rao also wanted to rule. Raghunath Rao and Madhav Rao, there will be a clash. Raghunath Rao removed. As soon as Madhav Rao is dead, Narayan Rao will come, Raghunath Rao will kill. Then Raghunath Rao will become Peshwa, so Nana Fadnavis will remove him, saying you are not the legitimate ruler. This is the basic Maratha internal politics. Now Raghunath Rao will do the second blunder, which is to technically involve the English. English will get involved, get defeated twice, but in the third time, the English will go into an understanding. We will help each other. Marathas too powerful under Nana Fadnavis. 20 years they will not touch the Marathas, knowing that the Marathas are too powerful. Now Wellesley will wait. Hastings had defeated the first time. He will wait. Now the second opportunity will come. As soon as Madhav Rao II will die, the Baji Rao II will come. They will fight within themselves. Holkar, Scindia and the Peshwas fighting. Holkar defeats. Baji Rao II does the same blunder, third blunder, and the biggest of all of them, which is to go and sign the subsidiary alliance with the English. And once they signed the subsidiary alliance with the English, Maratha territory was literally sold to the British. Platter, given in a platter, and this in turn will lead to the third Anglo-Maratha war, where everybody is going to wake up and say, what is happening? The British are taking our territory. By that time, the British had become too powerful itself, and they will literally, comprehensively, one hand back, defeat each one of them, and thereafter take everything in this whole story. Make sense, everyone? So Jancho, I've seen the comment for the first time. You can send the question again. I will give you a trick for this, because what is going to come in the examination? I'm telling you already. They will not ask you to explain the wars. Whatever I said, you tell me one thing. Whatever I said to you right now, can you write it in 250 words? You tell me. It has taken me 4 minutes to speak it. It has taken me 4 minutes to speak it. You have to write it. They will not ask you how did the war happen. They will discuss the implications of the war. So implications is Marathas are out of the picture, but I will tell you what type of prelims question is going to come. Prelims question is going to be, they will say, consider the following wars. First Anglo-Maratha war, third Anglo-Maratha war, this war, that war, and put them in chronological sequence. Put them in chronological sequence. I will discuss subsidiary alliance with you. Just wait for the wars to be over. They will ask you to put them in chronological sequence. And I will give you a trick for chronological sequence, because it's very easy. Easiest of all. What students start to do is they start to learn this. And this is where they do the blunder. So I hope you can wait for the climax, and once this painful process of wars is over, I will give you the trick. Promise, I give you, because I know what you need to do and what you have to understand. Can we agree to this? We have to do Mysore. Once all wars are done, the whole list will be complete. Right? Now, I'll give you a question and you see what type of mains question comes. The mains question technically deals with the following. How do I take a poll in a mains question? How do I take a poll in a mains question? Mains question is not objective. It is subjective. What will you do by clicking A, B, C, D? So, prelims question, Femina, I will do it first. Let me discuss all the wars. First, let me discuss all the wars. Once the wars are going to be over, then I will give you the trick. Then it makes sense. I will do it with you. Don't worry. Friday, we do previous year questions. The ironic part of the story is, guess how many questions have come out of the wars? Guess how many questions have come out of the wars in prelims examination? You guess. Directly from the war, zero. 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 Under zero. One question they've asked tangentially out of whatever we've done till this point, zero question. Then you are asking me, then why do wars? Then how do I tell you the British became what they became? This is why I tell you there is much more to modern India than these things. But we have to do this story. And guess how many questions have come in the mains examination from this territory in the past 10 years? Guess. That too last year. That too last year. One question. And that question was not even about wars. The question was, how was the British? And you can answer that question right away. I'll ask you that question. How was the British able to win the Indian subcontinent with a much numerically smaller army and not even better technology? What is the answer for that? What is the answer for that? They always had internal conflicts in their favor. Do I need to do all the things? UPSC is not a PC, the divide and rule. UPSC is not a PCS level examination. It doesn't care about these things. I will give you tricks. We have to steer clear of this area. Whatever I'm doing, I know what I'm doing. Don't worry about that. So I'm telling you, don't get caught up. Do not get caught up in anything. Don't get caught up in anything. Just let's discuss this area and move into what really matters. For example, land revenue policy. Permanent, Redwari, Melwari. But I have been creating certain building blocks for you, and we finally are in the end of the last building block. We discussed what? Mughal decline. Thereafter, I discussed the advent of Europeans. Then I discussed regional powers. And now finally, we will be done with expansion. Once expansion will be done, I will discuss with you the next set, which is called consolidation. In consolidation, we will discuss what is called the economic policy, land revenue settlements. We'll discuss ICS, we will discuss judiciary. I will give you my own article to read on the police itself. I've published my own article on the police, my own research, and you will understand how they start to consolidate. And once you understand consolidation, then we will go to social religious reform movement. And finally, 1857, it will take us 100 years to realize that the British were technically making a fool of us. And that moment will be 1857 and thereafter. That is why UPSC has never asked a question from this section too much. They're asking questions, but they're not asking from wars. Wars, I will give you a prospective question. I will discuss it with you, but please understand, 0 questions directly from in prelims, 1 question in mains, which you can answer even without knowing the wars. So trust me, this process is just to understand. So will you now not get caught up in unnecessary details as much as they matter or as much as whatever you think? Simple point is, right? Okay. Right? So we take a break now. Again, HR1, there is a solution for this. Please answer HR1. Yes, Shami, answer HR1. There's a solution for what happened. Okay. So let's take a break. Trust me, I've been doing this for now close to 12 years. So I know when I tell you not to do, I'm not deceiving you. I'm just telling you not to get caught up in something. So I hope that you can. You can trust me in the process itself. Okay. Question, I will just give you a question from the Maratha section and then we'll take a break. Simple point. Simple point. Make sense? Are you getting the question? Which is, the Marathas were a viable alternative to Mughal rule in India. Discuss why they were not able to achieve the same. So you need to tell me why were the Marathas, how did the Marathas destroy themselves? So you know that you don't have to discuss Vadgaon, basin. No, you have to discuss each and every implication, inviting the British, dividing their power, the problem with internal politics, and you will discuss this through examples. For example, this happened. For example, this happened. Right? So you see, basic understanding is in your mind, so you can already brainstorm the answer. You can already brainstorm the answer. Something is coming in your mind, just note it down. And this is how we brainstorm. Basically, when I'm discussing something with you, we are brainstorming now. So this question, everybody has certain points. Jot them down and you have the answer. Great. Weak successors, whatever this answer, you can get out of that 15 marks, easily 7.58 if you write the basic points itself. Okay, perfect. So it is 8:30, no, not 8:30, 6:35. We come back at 6:45 and we talk about Mysore. I'm telling you, Mysore is not 1, but 2, but 3, but 4 wars, each after the other. 2 Hyder Ali, 2 Tipu Sultan, then 2 Sikh wars, and the wars are over. Right? See, I will see you at 6:45. Thank you for your patience. Do understand Bajirao, the first. I will tell you one thing. Don't get caught up into son, daughter, father, mother. There's already too much information. If you will start to make that chain, it will become extremely hard to follow. Extremely hard to follow. Just remember the names if you need to, if you want to. Okay. Now, Mysore. So when we talk about the Mysore sector, the most unfortunate part of Mysore is that basically it is surrounded by all states which don't like it. So you have Carnatic here, which has a conflict with Mysore. You have the Hyderabad state here, which is again problematic. There's a small area called Travancore, which is the nothing but Kerala coast. Travancore is also became independent over a period of time. And very simply, you have the Marathas who are here. And Mysore maximum, I'll make it in a different color. See, Mysore maximum could go till this area. And the presence of Hyderabad, the presence of Carnatic, the presence of Travancore itself, and the Marathas meant that basically there is a lot of lack of unity in this area. Major lack of unity in this area, because when it comes to the Mysorean sector, they are the first and the only ones to realize the presence of the British being not a good thing. But again the British will be very smart and very quick to realize that they can literally play the Hyderabad and the Mysore sector, the Maratha and the Mysore sector, the Carnatic and the Mysore sector, the Travancore and the Mysore sector. And again, they will literally do wait and watch here, except for in the second Anglo-Maratha, Anglo-Mysore war, very briefly, where all three will come together. There will be only English plus all these powers versus Mysore. Mysore was always outnumbered. And the context is very simple. Before the first Mysore war will happen, Treaty of Salbai has already been signed. And under Treaty of Salbai, the Marathas and the English are already under an understanding that they will help each other. And the significance of Mysore is that with the death of the Mysorean state, which is Treaty of Seringamapatnam, the only second hope for India will be lost in the form of Tipu Sultan and Hyder Ali. So firstly, do you understand the dynamics of this area? That basically Mysore has conflicts with all its neighbors and nobody is really together. Can we agree to these things first? Everyone? This thing is clear? Basic, problematic, neighbors and disunity. Something which we Indians are very good at, which is to be disunited over issues. Very good. Now. See, when Madhav Rao, the first was there, and even when it comes to Madhav Rao the second, they were the Marathas were constantly in conflict with Hyder Ali. Over certain territories. So they are technically natural enemies in a way. And Hyder Ali also has a problem with Hyderabad. So basically, there is a very explosive situation in this area. But the importance of Hyder Ali is the fact that Hyder is written like this also. Hyder Ali also written same thing. Hyder Ali is also written like this. Both spellings are correct. Hyder Ali understood what the British were doing, and this is the outstanding quality of the Mysorean state and Mysore's ruler, Hyder Ali, because he understood what the British were technically doing. Hyder Ali had come to power, if you remember, by defeating Nanjaraj, Vodiyar prime minister, very, very corrupt, and he became to power. Now, Hyder Ali, after defeating the Mysorean prime minister who was under Vodiyar dynasty, we already did that. Hyder Ali will come into the picture, but he will look at the Carnatic sector and realize that the British are too powerful and too smart. So what he will do initially itself is he will go into an alliance with their natural partner, which is a natural partner of the British in India. The French. So Hyder Ali will start to go into an alliance with the French, and Hyder Ali himself will start to realize that the strength of the military of the British comes from its modern weapons. So we also need to go for modern weaponry. So there was also this basic concept which is there, that Mysore and French were always together, and there was an understanding here. And basically, the English never were comfortable with this relationship. The English were never comfortable with the relationship. It's a relationship of your enemy is my enemy, your friend is my friend. Basic point is that Mysore now looked towards the French, and the French were happy to help Mysore because English were expanding in this area, and Hyder Ali understood that. Hyder Ali understood that. And simple point is, very simple point is that the French were happy to help Hyder Ali. So there are two basic points, which is Hyder Ali does not have a good relationship with his neighbors, and the French are happy to help Hyder Ali. These 2 points clear, everyone, because then the scene is set. Simple point, simple point, simple point. Hyder Ali is gone into an understanding with the French. They are happy to help each other because they have a natural enemy, common enemy, English. And simple point is that there is a lot of conflict in and around the sector of Mysore. So let's discuss then the first Mysore war. Now there are 4 of them. As always, we will discuss all of them together, and thereafter we'll go into the PPT itself. Hyder Ali was the successor of Vodaya Chikkadevaraya Vodayar after defeating Nanjaraj, the Prime Minister. He usurps power, is a successor state in that sense. Now, see, the first Mysore war was technically the British and Hyder Ali checking each other out, which is that basically there will be certain fortifications which the English will do in the Carnatic and Hyderabad sector, and they will do it in such a way so as to provoke a response from Mysore or Hyder Ali. And very simply, the first war will be fought over nothing. They will fight a war over nothing at all. Zero, nothing. Which is they will fight over these fortifications. But Mysore, with the help of the French, will match the British. And basically this war will go on, for 1.5 years with no result. So Hyder Ali will say to the British, why are we wasting our time? Let us go for a truce. And basically the war will end with what is called the Treaty of Madras. Truce means nobody wins, nobody loses. And the Treaty of Madras, there is an agreement between Hyder Ali and English to help each other. So basically the English wanted to check the power of the Hyder Ali or Mysore sector. They will literally provoke Hyder Ali for a response. They will fight over these fortifications, and Mysore state will match the British. And for 1.5 years, they will pointlessly be at war. And thereafter, Hyder Ali will go say to the British, what's the point of this war? We are not going to go forward or backward. Let's take a draw. And that draw is via Treaty of Madras, in which Hyder Ali and the English will say, we will not fight, we will help each other. Basically, if somebody is going to attack Mysore, the English will help the Mysorean sector. First part of the story, very easy. Mysore is very easy that way. Just checking their sense. Is this clear? Basic point is nobody is winning this war. They fight pointlessly, and thereafter they take a draw, which is called a truce. Simple. Great. Now, see, year is, one of you wanted the year 67, 69. Now, the second Anglo-Maratha war. Second Anglo-Mysore war rather. Now things will change. Now things will change. There will be two things which will happen. First, Marathas under Madhav Rao II will attack the Mysore sector, but English will not help. English will not help. Therefore, not honor the Treaty of Madras. Why did the English not respond? Why did the English not respond? All the attacks are for territory. All is for territory. It's so just a petty squabble. It's a petty squabble between these powers. Very good. Treaty of Salbai. Treaty of Salbai had already been signed between Nana Fadnavis and the British, and the British had now promised the same thing to two powers. That I will help you, I have your back. And here they go and say the same thing. Same promise to the Marathas, we will help you. Same promise to Hyder Ali, we will help you. And now it was about who was more powerful. So British realized the Marathas are much more powerful. So when it came to technically going for the war itself, Mysore was attacked by Marathas under Madhav Rao. Standard politics of this area. However, now Hyder Ali will feel very, very betrayed. Will feel betrayed. And this concept is called hypocrisy. British are unreliable power. Till today they are unreliable power. But the basic point is they're the heights of unreliability. Hyder Ali said that what is this? You said you have my back. This is that one friend who has a mutual friend, and he says to both the friends that I will help you against that friend. So English play both the sides. English played both the sides. They play Mysore also, and they play the what we call as the Marathas also. Though there has not been really, even after Vadgaon and Purandar, there is no understanding which is developing. Still, the Marathas were the preferred one. The preferred one. The formality of this relationship is going to come at Salbai, but they already have an understanding that the Mysorean sector is weaker than the Marathas. So simply see, the time period is 80 to 84, and this comes in between Salbai itself. So don't go into the dates right now. Don't worry about the dates. Very simple point is English are literally playing both sides. Can we agree to this? Can we agree to this? First Mysore war is before Maratha wars itself. Yes. Okay. Now, rather first Maratha war, then first Mysore war. Okay. Now, see, first Maratha war happens, they go into Salbai. First Mysore war happens, they go into Madras. Both treaties are identical. Both treaties are identical. Kiran, I'll give you the trick for that, don't worry. Both treaties are identical. I will help you. That is the treaty. I will help you. I will help you. I will help you. That is a basic point. Now, Marathas attack Mysore. Hyder Ali feels betrayed. And there will something which will happen in America. In America, there will be a war between Britain and America, which is called the American War of Independence. And the American War of Independence we will discuss in world history, first theme itself. The French and Americans were on the same side versus the British. And that is why the Statue of Liberty, which you see, is a French gift to the Americans to celebrate their independence. And we'll discuss the colonization of America and everything. That's a separate story altogether. Britain was America was a British colony. And now they are fighting for their independence since 1776 till 83. They are fighting for their independence. And basic point of the matter is, the French are involved in this story. Now, if the French are involved in America, will there be tensions between the French and the English? Somehow the French and English are always on the opposite side. That is the story before First World War. After First World, always together. Yes. So there will be a conflict and tension rising between British and French. And if I remember correctly, just refresh my memory, who takes help from the French? Who takes help from the French? Very good. And the French and Hyder Ali are in an alliance. Now you can understand how this hodgepodge is going to lead to the Second Anglo-Maratha War. Hyder Ali and French are together. French are fighting in America. French and Hyder Ali being together makes the English a little bit anxious. Hyder Ali is powerful, and the Hyder Ali anger is that he says to the French, give me the real guns. I don't want these small chutmut guns now. I want proper rifles to be produced in Mysore, because I will hit the head of the English because they did not honor their part of the Treaty of Madras. So now, very simple, basic point is, there is rising tension and both rising tension. And very simply, it is this tension which will spill over the American War of Independence based tensions will spill over into India. And now the English will capture, and they were the first aggressor, and they will capture a place called Malé. Will capture Malé, a French and Mysore understanding area, and this will trigger the war. This will trigger the war. And basically, the Second Anglo-Mysore War, the problem is going to be French turned out to be useless. Nothing new. Mahe and Malé are different. Mahe is Malé different. Malé is different, Mahe is different. First Malé, then Mahe. Don't worry about it. They're both different. Does this come as a surprise to us? Because no, it doesn't, because the French don't know what they're doing. They are happy to give the guns, but because they can't take decisions in India and they have to go to France to take decisions, Rahul, the problem is they are a government funded company, have no autonomy. And I will prove to you via world history, French are always useless. French are one of the most useless powers across the world. The basic point of the matter is, Subrana, I will tell you what to do with that, don't worry. The simple point of the matter is, the French messed up their own revolution. So, you see, very simply, American War of Independence based tension will come to India. British will capture Malé, which is not Mahe. Mahe is separate. Malé, and that will trigger the war, and that in turn would lead to the Second Anglo-Mysore War starting. But Hyder Ali will very quickly start to lose because of the fact that the French were of no purpose to him. The French helped the Americans, again a very foolish move on the French side. Somehow the French thought that if the Americans will be given independence, the Americans will write their property to the French. Americans are opportunists beyond exception itself, but that technically does not happen. So the French lost in that sector also. The basic point of the matter is the French, which is Suffren, the person who was helping Hyder Ali, Suffren will be recalled back, and simply English, the Marathas, even Hyderabad will take this opportunity, and in the second Anglo-Mysore war, Hyder Ali will unfortunately lose his life. There will be two major setbacks to Mysore. Hyder Ali will lose his life. Tipu Sultan will come into the picture. However, what is called the Treaty of Madras or the Treaty of Mangalore, the problem is that there will be major setbacks in the territorial dimensions of Mysore. So the basic point is, first is the British basically checking the power of Mysore, and simple point is that the second is also equally matched. Second is also a draw in a way. However, Hyder Ali will lose his life and the French will turn out to be useless. Is this making sense? So the wars are not as complex as the Maratha wars, not a lot of people involved. It's just that somehow Mysore had the worst alliance partner, which is French. Simple, first aggressors English, and the war goes in the English way, goes to a truce, but Hyder Ali is technically not able to survive the battle. Is this clear? I will give you the nitty-gritty of it, don't worry. I am just asking you to understand the basic points here. Why it started? Because the English did not like the relationship between the French and Hyder Ali. Okay. Now. The Marathas were on the side of the British. See, it is what we call as everybody was ready to cut the cake called Mysore. So when it was about attacking the Mysorean sector, everybody was ready to fight. Be it the Carnatic, be it the Maratha sector, everybody. It is always the British plus these powers versus Mysore. What is Treaty of Mangalore? As I said, Treaty of Mangalore is the truce in which they actually come to the understanding of giving each of themselves basic territory back. However, this is not signed. This is only signed in a very, very dangerous context in which Hyder Ali is going to lose his life. Can we agree to this? The nitty-gritties I will give you. Basic point is, first does not make sense. First is just checking the power. Second is English trying to defeat the Hyder Ali sector before they could become too big. Is this clear? Can I move to the next? Okay. As I said, I will give you the whole story. See, this is the Mysore sector. And I told you that it has all these powers around it. They all will be happy to cut Mysore as much as possible. Okay, now. See, I'll do one thing. I'll read these two out to you because there are four, then it will become too much to manage. Right. Anglo-Mysore wars were a series of wars fought over the last 4 decades of 18th century. And it was between the Madras sector, which will in turn lead to the Madras presidency being created in the end. Simple point of the matter is, under Madhav Rao II and Madhav Rao I itself, Mysore and Marathas were always under fighting. And huge sums of money had already been exchanged between the Marathas and Hyder Ali. But once Madhav Rao will die, Hyder Ali will become extremely active in this sector. So there is already a tension-based relationship between these two. Thereafter, the first Anglo-Mysore war is based on the relationship between Hyder Ali and the French. English encroach and fortify some areas of the Mysore territory. This is all deliberate. Hyder Ali already had territorial disputes with Arcot, which is Carnatic, and the Marathas. The war will go on for 1.5 years without any conclusion, and they will go into a treaty which is called the Treaty of Madras. In this, they agree to exchange each other's territory, and the Mysore and Madras sector agree for mutual help in third-party aggression. Is this clear? First war is very easy. There is nothing here. We will help each other. Hum bhai bhai. Everybody is together. No issues at all. Can we move to the second one? It was a war which was fought without reason. The English just wanted to check the power of the Mysorean sector. Okay. So, very happy family. We will help each other. You and me are brothers. We will help each other. Same thing. The British go and say to the Marathas also. We will help each other. Right? Now, the second Anglo-Mysore war, there are multiple triggers. First is that when Mysorean sector is invaded by the Marathas, the British did not help. British encroachment and again try to enter into Mysore sector. The French provided very important military assistance, saltpeter, guns at what is called through Malé. Malé is a very important island through which they routed to Mysore. American War of Independence will break out and the French will start to help Hyder Ali even more. And now the British will preemptively capture Malé in 1779, therefore triggering the war. Now, very simply, English won over the Marathas through the Treaty of Salbai. By 1781, Coote defeated Hyder Ali at Porto Novo. English also bribed the Nizam to give some areas of Guntur to them itself. French were helping under Suffren. But the problem is two major setbacks will happen in this story. First, Hyder Ali will die in 1782 and Suffren will be recalled. The French are technically useless because they recall Dupleix also, they recall Suffren also. So the Treaty of Mangalore will be signed, under which both sides will call it a truce. Each will give each other territory back. British will now say, I will be neutral in this area. And basically, the British now are showing that they are very interested in this sector. But the major setback is Hyder Ali has died. When you read it, it is equally simplistic and straightforward. Right? First and second Anglo-Mysore war, come on. There's no complexity here. Suffren is the governor who helped them. Is this clear? Can I move on? Second is nothing to, they all fight preemptively. They're just fighting preemptively. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay. Now comes third. Third is the more interesting one. Third Anglo-Mysore war. And this is Tipu Sultan. Now he is in the picture. Well, British promise a lot of things, never go as forward. This is the British till today. Never trust a Britisher. When did I say trust a Britisher? Never. We'll discuss Viceroy and all, Rahul. Don't complicate. That is 1858. Never trust a Britisher. Beat Madras, beat Mangalore, all are dramas. Nothing at all. Now, the Anglo-Mysore war, third Anglo-Mysore war, is based on a very interesting series of events which is going to happen. Now you see, there is a state called Travancore here. Come on, tell me, there's a Travancore here. Yes, Travancore is here. Now Travancore controls this coast. This coast is controlled by Travancore. However, technically Travancore was Tipu Sultan's subsidiary power, in the sense that Travancore needs to take any form of decision in consonance with Mysore. This is called feudatory politics, or what we call as, they are not just that Hyder Ali is the overlord. is the larger power to which Travancore has to agree to. Now, there were two settlements here. Which the Dutch controlled. Very small settlements. And the Travancorean sector, or Travancore, the governor of Travancore, will buy these territories from the Dutch. Dutch were ready to sell it. They don't have any interest here now. And the Travancorean governor will not take permission of Hyder Ali before doing anything. Will not take permission of Tipu Sultan before taking this decision. And this in turn will infuriate Tipu Sultan. And Tipu Sultan will say, with whose permission did you buy or sell this territory? And Tipu Sultan will attack Travancore, saying, now enough is enough, I need to control you fully. But now the English were technically waiting for this opportunity. As soon as the Travancorean sector is attacked by Mysore under Tipu Sultan, the English, the Marathas, the Hyderabad sector, the Carnatic, all four come to the assistance of Travancore. And this in turn becomes the trigger for the third Anglo-Mysore war, which is going to be extremely disastrous for Mysore in what is called the Treaty of Seringapattana. The simplest point is, and I'll tell you the areas which we are talking about. There is the Jalkotal sector and Cannanore, which are two Dutch areas in and around Kochi. And Travancore is going to purchase it, but they will not ask Tipu Sultan, because Tipu Sultan technically controls Kochi. So this will be seen as a breach of the sovereign rights of Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan will declare war on Travancore, and now it will become the English plus the Marathas plus the what we call as Carnatic and plus Hyderabad coming to the help of Travancore, and they will fight Mysore. Are you understanding the trigger here? Very simply, Travancore is considered an extension of the Mysorean state, specifically Kochi. Any decision at Kochi will be taken with the consonance of Tipu Sultan. Travancore becomes oversmart, buys two territories from the Dutch, which fall under Kochi, without asking Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan attacks Travancore, and now this is used as a pretext for the English to now go for the final push and take Mysore. And you see how Mysore will always be outnumbered when it comes to alliance partners. Mysore will have the French, but you know how good the French are at war. Is the pretext clear? Reason is very simply Travancore's transgression and English opportunistic move to now take Mysore on the pretext of helping. See, according to the English, they're helping Travancore. They said that this Mysore is harassing Travancore. So I will come and help Travancore. Basically, it's a politics between, this is not called ring fence. Please don't use these words right now. It's a politics. It's basically husband and wife fighting in the house, and the neighbor called the British saying that I want to protect the wife. You're getting my point? This is a dispute between Travancore and Mysore. But now the British say, no. I will protect Travancore. Travancore cannot protect itself. I will protect. Come on, Maratha. Come on, Mysore. Come on, Hyderabad. Come on, Carnatic. He calls the whole Mohalla itself. That we will fight this oppressor called Mysore. How can he do something to Travancore? This is literal harassment of Mysore. So English are protecting Travancore. They are the protectors of democracy. Do you understand the politics of the English in India now? They are very, very dangerous. This dispute is nothing but a dispute between Travancore and Mysore. But no, the English, the righteous English will find a way to protect Travancore. And not even to, they will say, bring everyone. You stop your work and come and protect Travancore. Are you getting my point? Is this analogy working for you? It is working? Great. Okay. Now, the third Anglo-Maratha Mysore war, however, is disastrous. Why? Because Tipu Sultan, though he had the French, even the Arabs, and even the Ottomans on his side, the common thing between each of them is that the Ottomans are also useless, the Arabs are also useless, and the French are also useless. The basic point is now Cornwallis will go for the final push to take Mysore, and the inevitability of the war is going to now lead to the Treaty of Seringapatam, and see, Tipu Sultan will actually lose this war in a way that he will never be able to revive back. Tipu Sultan defeated the French under General Meadows. However, when Cornwallis will come, he will run through Ambur, Vellore, and to Bangalore, and thereafter he will get the support of the Marathas, the Nizam, and they will attack the summer palace, which is Seringapatam, and Tipu Sultan will offer very serious opposition. However, he will lose this battle, and this will in turn lead to what is called the Treaty of Seringapatam. Treaty of Seringapatam, very simply, Nizam, now you see how the cake called Mysore will be cut and everybody is going to get something. Nizam says, I want the Krishna to Pennar region. Okay, so Nizam gets Krishna to Pennar region. The war damages of 3 crore rupees was taken from Tipu Sultan. English are obsessed with money, that we already know, have to pay to the shareholders. So they will take 3 crore rupees. Both the sons of Tipu Sultan will be taken hostage by the English. Nearly half of the territory will be taken by the Marathas. Bharmal, Didugul, and Malabar will go to the English, so the English take territory also. They will take territory also. And the Marathas will be given the territory from Tungabhadra. So this is Mysore literally getting cut by these powers for their own advantage. Literally. English want money, they took it. They took some area also. Mysore said, Maratha said, I want Tungabhadra to this, take it. Carnatic said, we want this, take it. And Hyderabad said, I want something, take it. This is the problem. What is the problem in this story? You tell me. What is the problem in this story? The English were here for profit. But what are the others doing? Carnatic gets a small area, not a lot, already a power under the British itself. This is called divide and rule at its highest point. There is either further division. They are not understanding what is happening. They think English are, see, the problem with our Indian rulers is they think that the English are like the French. But they forget that the English are much, much smarter than the French. They thought that the English are like the Portuguese or like the Dutch. They will come, they will trade, sell off and go off. But the English were not going to go. Basic point of the matter is, this is the problem with India at this point of time. Disunity at the highest peak of anything. When you are dividing yourself in that sense, what is the point? And from this, Tipu Sultan will never be able to recover back. He will never ever be able to recover back. Are you getting the gravity of this situation? Because this is what the UPSC is asking. How is that the British, with 100 Britishers, were able to capture all of India? They were able to capture all of India because they played us. They literally played us against each other. And this is why we believe it is the myopic vision of all these powers. And except for these two rulers, Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan, who actually understood what was happening. They were literally trying to remove the English, but somehow the Nizam, the Marathas, and even the Carnatic sector did not realize that. If this does not give you perspective about us, you need to understand this. Your critical thinking of your own life, of your own country, needs to be created in this way that you need to understand how we have always been played against each other. You are the future, you are the next IAS officer of this country. Don't let people play each other, because politicians do divide and rule. Politicians do divide and rule. You are a permanent executive. You need to learn how to understand when people are playing each other. Because we have this tendency in us, which is this myopic vision, very small, very half vision in that sense. Are you getting my point? This is much bigger than what we see today. Much bigger than what we see today. Right? Okay, very good. Now, unfortunately, the Treaty of Seringapatam is going to break the back of Tipu Sultan. So the third Anglo-Mysore war is nothing but Travancore versus Mysore, the trigger, and in turn it will lead to the concept of Travancore getting help from the English, Maratha, Nizam, and Carnatic, which in turn will lead to Tipu Sultan's defeat and the Treaty of Seringapatam. And once Treaty of Seringapatam will be signed, most of Mysore will be gone. Can we discuss now fourth Mysore war? Can we discuss fourth Mysore war? Right? Now, are you able to enjoy it a little bit? I've been showing you multiple movies. At least you're able to, unfortunately, enjoy these movies. Basic point is the discovery, this is the destruction of India itself. But yeah. Now, the next war is a preemptive war. See, Tipu Sultan knew that nobody is going to help him. Nobody is going to help him. And what happens is that in 1799, there rises a person in France, and his name is Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon will become the savior of the French. And when I will teach you world history, I will tell you that before Napoleon captured power, the French were literally writing constitution after constitution. 91, 93, 95, 99, constitution after constitution after constitution. They were enjoying writing constitution. Did not implement any of it, but just constitution after constitution after constitution. This is called the French Revolution. So they were literally writing constitution after constitution after constitution. Napoleon says we need to stop doing that. And he will then stabilize France. But Napoleon builds a good relationship with Tipu Sultan. And the basic concept of how Tipu Sultan was part of the Jacobean club. The Jacobians were the revolutionaries of the French Revolution. He was part of the revolutionary club, or the most radical part of the French Revolution. And now the English can see that there's a rising coziness between Napoleon and Tipu Sultan. And what Napoleon was going to do very soon, that is that in 1802 and then in 1804, he will start what is called the Napoleonic Wars in Europe. In Europe. Basically, he is the emperor or the ruler, if you want to call him, of France. I don't want to do French evolution with you here, but basically he becomes the ruler of France or emperor of France in 1802, 1804. But this connection between Tipu Sultan and Napoleon Bonaparte is something which does not go well with the British. They're not able to digest this fact very well. And basically, based on this rising coziness between Napoleon, who was giving now arms and ammunition to Tipu Sultan at a new rate, the English will intervene via the Fourth Mysore War, and they will now annex Mysore fully. They will now annex Mysore fully. Basically, the trigger for the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War is nothing but that between 1790 and 99, English and Tipu Sultan were recouping their losses. However, Wellesley became the Governor General in 1797, and the British were now embroiled or fighting the French already, a war which will be over in 1802, but then will start in 1804 again. And basically, there's a communication between Tipu Sultan and Napoleon, which the British will be able to find. They will be able to intercept a communication between Tipu Sultan and Napoleon. And now Wellesley will lose his mind. The British will start to sweat in India. No, can't let Napoleon help Tipu Sultan. Can't let Napoleon help Tipu Sultan. Wellesley did not used to sleep. Napoleon. And they want a solution to that. And the solution is going to be what we call as the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War. And in this, in 1799 itself, there will be a battle between the British and Tipu Sultan near Seringapatam. Unfortunately, Tipu Sultan was defeated first by Stuart, then by Harris. English will then take the help of his buddies, Marathas and the Nizam. And Tipu Sultan was killed even before the French could reach them. Even before the French could set one. And this is the basic problem. Tipu Sultan messaged the French that the British are coming. Give me some assistance. I am not the same as the Third Mysore War. They will be saying, we are sending. Even before the French send anything, Tipu Sultan is already defeated. And this is why by 1799, British won the Battle of Seringapatam under the brother of Lord Wellesley, Arthur Wellesley, and the British will now take possession of Wayanad, Coimbatore, Dwarvapuram, Seringapatam, Kanara, and take everything what the Mysore sector has. And in turn, they will destroy the Mysorean sector itself. It's not Silk, but Sikh war. And this is the story of Mysore. They were busy writing constitution. Can I give you a brief of everything what we've done today? Or rather what we've done in this story. Not done today, but in this story itself. Does this make sense? Does it make you feel a little bit weird after hearing these stories? That basically we gave the British India on a platter. The British were not that smart as the more foolish we were. That is the basic point. Now listen to me. Simple. I've done 2 wars with you, right? I've done 2 wars with you. I've done Maratha and I've done Mysore. In a way, there is a connection between the two also. There's 1, 2, 3 wars here. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 wars here. Right? Now, first war happens because of whom? Let's revise. Because of Raghunath Rao. Very good. Because of Raghunath Rao. Right? Second war happens because of Bajirao II. Here it was Raghunatha coming to power. Here was Bajirao coming to power. And third war happens when the Marathas want to remove the British. Is this hard to remember or easy to remember? First, second and third. Basically the same family of Raghunatha Rao destroyed the Marathas. Easy. Now, first Mysore war. Why does it happen? English want to check Hyder Ali. That is, Hyder Ali, any of use, is checking their power. Second war happens because of the American War of Independence. Third war happens because of Travancore. And fourth war happens because of Napoleon. Is this hard to remember? So then what is the issue? Where is the confusion? You want the sequence, I will give you the sequence. You want the understanding or you want the trick, I will give you the trick. But basically, the triggers are very, very straightforward. Though nobody is going to ask you this, the basic point of the matter is because here also it is the French who are the reason. Basically it's the French. Here also is the French. Simple point is that there is a story which goes together. It is the anxiety with the French. It is all about internal politics. Internal politics. I'll give you a simple question and you see how you can use this information. Can I give you that question? I'll give you a very simple question and you will see how you can use this type of information. You see, question: the Carnatic Wars and the Mysore Wars demonstrate that the English and French rivalry will dictate the fate of Indian subcontinent. Do you agree? Are you able to understand this question? What is common to Carnatic and Mysore is the involvement of which power? Is the involvement of the French. It's written in the question itself. So Carnatic War and Mysore War demonstrate that the English and French rivalry will dictate the fate of the Indian subcontinent. It means you just have to show how the first and third Carnatic and the second and the fourth Mysore are basically a product of this rivalry. And I will tell you one thing very, very clearly, very, very clearly. Listen to me, golden words. When the examiner says, do you agree? Agree. Don't become a hero and start to write the opposite direction. Understand this very, very clearly. Whatever your personal opinion may be, the examiner wants you to agree with him. So some students will start to become heroes here and they will say, no. It was internal politics. Agree. When I'm giving my opinion as the examiner, why do you want to contradict me? This is the first important gyan of writing the answer. Never contradict the opinion of the examiner. Are you getting my point? This is for all subjects. This is for all subjects. The examiner says that the governor's position is useless and needs to be removed. You take a balanced approach. You don't start to totally agree and totally disagree. You come out of this concept. Here also you have to, in history, when you have justify, agree, and the statement is very elaborate, agree. Support the argument if it is not too extreme. Are you getting my point? Dictate the fate means it will decide the destiny of India. This is a very important point you need to understand, because when I ask you to comment, I don't care about your opinion. Neither does the examiner. Neither does UPSC. They want you to agree with that person and either support it, but always be neutral. Don't start to go, yes, we should do this or we should do that. Just say both have merit and demerit. But in these type of questions, when there's a major flow, go with it. Go with it. You have why we have to agree, because we have to become an IS officer. Once you become an IS officer, you get your appointment letter. Start to disagree with everything, does not matter. Make sense? Ajay, you can write. Never write in the beginning, yes, I agree. Conclude by this saying that, yes, we agree to this. Can we be yes men till we have to clear this examination? Or men and women? Yes, men and women. The examiner is God. We will worship him. We will get the marks. Then I don't care about the examiner. Great? Okay, very good. When the examiner says the sun comes out of the south of India, yes, it comes out of south of India. I will agree with that also. No issue. Okay. My task is to make you an IS officer. Your task is to become an IS officer. You don't have to become a constitutional lawyer and understand the articles of the Constitution. You don't have to become the judge of the High Court and interpret the Constitution. You don't have to become a historian and understand and rewrite the history. You don't have to become an economist and make the budget. You have to become an IS officer. Simply get the marks, become an IS officer, then do what you want to do. We have to be very, very clear. Now you get this breather. Can I go to Sikh? Can I go to Sikh? Are you getting my point? Are you basically getting my point? This is a very important point, because a lot of students start to develop contradictory notions. That should not be the case. Okay. Anuj, in the interview also, just disagree with the interview board. Literally destroy you. Literally destroy you. All your interview will be about damage control. Damage control. Literally damage control. The board is saying something and you have the guts to say, I disagree with the board. Then manage 6 people with their own opinions, and these are people who have 20, 30, 40 years of service with their own notions. And you are telling them, no, 21-year-old Abhishek Mishra, disagree with you because my notions are better. See, you need to learn to know where to say what. That is the beauty of the interview. Don't do this. That is literal suicide. Literal suicide. All your interview is going to be about this only. Never lie to the board, ever. Never ever lie to the board, and never ever basically disagree with the board. Okay, let's talk about critically analyze. Also give pro and con and just take neutral line and leave. That's it. Okay. When I'll do art and culture with you, I will tell you a story of how lying to the board backfires not in one chance but in 4 different chances. Okay. Now, Anglo-Sikh wars. Everybody is rejuvenated. I've used this time to give you a small informal break. Can we discuss Anglo-Sikh? Right. See, Sikhism is something we will again discuss in medieval India. The rise of Sikhism, how Guru Nanak will start it. Thereafter, the contribution of different gurus, the controversy between Har Rai, Har Kishan, Ram Rai. The basic conclusion, subsidiary lines, Prashant, I will do once I've done wars. The basic conclusion which you need to right now understand is that Sikhism is a religion, yes or no? Sikhism is a religion? Yes. Okay. And the group which protects Sikhism is called Khalsa. Khalsa. If Sikhism is India, Khalsa would be the army. Basically, it is a group of Sikhs who protect Sikhism. Guru Gobind Singh created it once he lost all of his 4 sons to the Mughal conflict and realized that Sikhism needed to be protected. He also made the book, the Guru Granth Sahib, the eternal Guru. Sikhism is not part of Hinduism. Constitutionally it is, but it is a separate religion altogether. Hinduism and Sikhism are 2 different religions. Now, constitutionally though considered the same. A group of Sikhs who protect Sikhism is the Khalsa. So Guru Gobind Singh created it as a form of a cadre who could protect Sikhism, and basically it was because the Mughals were threatening the Sikh religion itself, and he made the Guru, the next Guru, the book itself. That is why the Guru Granth Sahib became the eternal Guru till today, and the Khalsa went on protecting Sikhism. But now, as I said, constitutionally, legally, there are different implications. Historically, Sikhism has been a separate religion. Right? Okay, very good. Now, yes, Nitesh, yes. Okay, now, over a period of time, the Punjab sector, everybody is following this concept. Sikhism religion, Khalsa which protects Sikhism. No issues here. As I said, I will discuss the whole process, how they got involved in Mughal politics, Aurangzeb's role. We will discuss that in medieval India. Now, over a period of time, Sikhs got divided into what are called different or 12 missals. 12 missals. Missals mean these are what are called military brotherhoods or groups, and these are called missals. Missals is a Punjabi word for a military brotherhood. Basically, you understand it like the confederacy of the Marathas. You have different families controlling certain territories. This is here, it is the missal which controls different territories. There are 12 missals, but the problem of these missals is that they are fighting with each other. They fight with each other over territory. Standard process. These 12 of them, if you want to know their name, I'll give it to you also. These are the 12 important missals of the Sikhs. It was a rebel state, culturally and economically very, very important. Created the Dal Khalsa to protect it. And over a period of time, they consolidated into missals. These are military brotherhoods with democratic setup. Basically, these 12 missals together constitute the Sikh community. Again, not significant in our story, but this is where the story starts. The whole of the Punjab sector is now divided into these 12 missals. But the problem is there is internal conflict. Is this making sense? The concept of internal conflict and the concept of missals. Come on, everyone. Come on. I know there are 2 terms which I need to explain more, but that is for medieval India. Sikhism as a religion rises. and second, it becomes the Khalsa protects Sikhism, and Sikhism in turn reorganizes itself into missiles. Is everybody with me? Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You are. Perfect. Is this clear? Right. 1 second. Great. Great, 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 great. So everybody is with me. There is no issue. Missiles, as I said, again repeating myself, are military brotherhoods which are controlling the whole area. Now, very good, perfect. But the problem is that these missiles are weakening Punjab sector and also Sikhism. And Sikhism. Dal Khalsa, Khalsa same thing. Dal Khalsa, Khalsa same thing. There will be internal conflict because of the way they are. You don't have to learn the names. You don't have to learn the names. You don't have to learn the names. Do not learn. Do not learn. The same point of the simple point of the matter is Sikhism rises a rebel state. Khalsa protects it. Missiles are the evolved form of Khalsa. Basically, Khalsas evolved into missiles. Now, the problem is that the missiles are becoming problematic and destabilizing Sikhism. And against all of this rises a very important personality, Ranjit Singh. Maharaja Ranjit Singh was the one who understood that basically these are the last 2 wars we need to do. Last 2 wars. He understood that basically these missiles are destabilizing Sikhism. He rises from within. He rises from within the ranks of the missiles, and now he starts to consolidate the Punjab sector and missiles. Basically, he creates what is called the Punjab state, or what we call as the Sikh kingdom. He's a very, very, very interesting diplomat, and he needed to find a way to consolidate Punjab in such a way that it was not going to go into conflict with the British also. At this point of time, the Sikhs control Punjab, what we call as parts of Pakistan, even parts of Afghanistan, and they also control parts of Kashmir and Jammu. Basically, the whole Jammu and Kashmir sector is with the Sikhs. Now, Ranjit Singh was smart. He knew that if he starts to expand in a certain way, he will go into conflict with the British. So in a very interesting moment, as I said, Sikhism rises, Sikhism has Khalsa to protect it, missiles are formed, missiles brotherhoods, democratic brotherhoods, which are fighting with each other, destabilizing the Punjab sector. Ranjit Singh rises, consolidates. But now he does a very important moment. Come on, Sachin, clear? Basic point is that he signs what is called the Treaty of Perpetual Friendship, or what we call as the Treaty of Amritsar. The Treaty of Amritsar basically says that the Satluj River in Punjab sector will be the border of Punjab which is Ranjit Singh, and the British. Missiles are an evolved form of the Khalsa. The basic point of the matter is he makes the Satluj the de facto border between the British and the Sikh state. Nobody crosses on either side, and we will be happy with the basic concept. It will be the basic concept. So Ranjit Singh, when we talk about him, Ranjit Singh is an interesting personality because he will start to consolidate the missiles. He will carve out an empire called the Punjab Kingdom by the policy of blood and iron. Whoever is going to agree, okay. If you will not agree, I will put you down and make sure that Punjab is protected. In 1799, he will also be appointed as the governor of Lahore by Zanam Shah, who is the ruler of Afghanistan. Basically, he will be taking that part of the Pakistan and Afghanistan sector by getting concessions from the ruler of Afghanistan. He will conquer Jammu and Amritsar by 1805. Amritsar was already there, Amritsar's whole sector, but Jammu sector. And he will sign the Treaty of Perpetual Friendship in 1809. He will build a very important army which is going to be on European lines. And he had the second best army in Asia after the Marathas at this point of time. And he will also employ what is called new cannons in his army at Lahore and even get Muslim gunners to man it. Basically, the best artillerymen of the Mughals along with the best equipment available. So Ranjit Singh consolidates the power, and basically he is extremely important in this story because he creates a wall between the British and Punjab. Is this point clear? He won over all the missiles. He is the consolidator. He is the consolidator of the treaty of the Punjab state. I told you I'll talk about their context. Now the context is set. Is this clear? Can I move forward? Now we'll move towards the first Sikh war. Last two wars we need to discuss. Missiles are an evolved form of the Khalsa. Yashika, I told this twice now. Now, very simple. See, till 1839, everything will be fine. Till 1839, everything will be fine. But once Ranjit Singh will die, now the Sikh generals and military heads will become extremely active and start to do internal politics. Somehow the story of India is always about internal politics. And the simple point is that Ranjit Singh will die. And unfortunately, his next three rulers, his sons, will also be killed. And they will be assassinated by these generals. You see, don't have to learn their names. But the first is Ranjit Singh is going to die. Then will come Khadak Singh. Khadak Singh will die. Khadak Singh. He will be killed. Then you will have Naunihal Singh. He will be killed. Thereafter, you will have Sher Singh. He will also be killed. And thereafter, the last is the one Dilip Singh, a child who will come to power under the regency or the mentorship of a person called Rani Jindal and his very important prime minister, which is Hira Singh. Refresh Pranay. Simple point is, beat Khadak Singh, beat Naunihal Singh, beat Sher Singh. All of them will be killed because of internal politics. You see, same thing written here. The kingdom will see a proper rapid decline in government. Khadak Singh will be killed, Nauniyal Singh will be killed, Sher Singh will be killed, and all killed and assassinated by their own military generals. Military generals. Basically, these military generals are killing to come to power. To come to power. That is the basic point here. So Ranjit Singh, followed by Khadak Singh killed, Nauniyal Singh killed, and Sher Singh killed. And therefore, the last person is Dilip Singh, who is in the picture. Can we agree to this? Killed by their own military generals. This is all power politics, standard power politics. Everybody wants to come to power. So they are ready to kill each other. Can we agree to this? Ranjit Singh, till Ranjit Singh, everything is fine. After Ranjit Singh, everything starts to go south. One after the other, his sons are killed because nobody wants to give up power. Right, clear? Now, Dilip Singh is a minor. So he is ruling via Rani Jindan, and he has a prime minister, Wazir, who is Hira Singh. Can I take the story forward? Don't have to remember any of this. Do not learn. Do not learn. Perfect? Great. Now, all are sons of Dilip, all are sons of Ranjit Singh, but he's the youngest. Killed by whom? Killed by their own generals. Remove this innocence. Power is a bad thing. People will kill for it. Okay. Now, can I move to the first Anglo-Sikh war? Only 2 wars are there. Now, what is the dividing line between Punjab and the state? What is the dividing line? Is this Satluj River? Satluj River. Now, by 1830s, the British has already consolidated its area. The British had a lot of anxiety about the Afghans for sure. But the basic point is the British want a solution to the Punjab state. So now what they do is that they find one person called Lal Singh. Lal Singh. He's a military general. And he wants to become the next king. He wants to become the next king. Or next Wazir in that sense. So the British say to Lal Singh, you just provoke the generals to cross the Satluj River. Now again, what is the role of Lal Singh in this story? If we compare it with the Marathas, what is the role of Lal Singh? Very good. He is the equivalent to Raghunath Rao here. Lal Singh will be told by the British, you cross over this Satluj River and we will see it as a breach of the Treaty of Perpetual Friendship and Amritsar. And what we will do is that we will then enter into Punjab and we will take over the kingdom and we'll make you Wazir. The exact same thing happens. Lal Singh in his lust for power will provoke, and because he had a very important contingent, he will cross over the Satluj. He will just go and join the British, and the British will say that the Punjab, the Sikh state, has now under Dilip Singh breached the Treaty of Perpetual Friendship, and we will. Lal Singh is just one general. He's a man who wants power, and they will now fight what is called the First Anglo-Sikh War. Anglo-Sikh War. The Sikhs in no way were in a position to actually fight properly. Lal Singh was already not fighting. And what is going to happen is they will sign what is called the Treaty of Lahore, in which the British will take everything more or less everything. And what they will do is that they will create what is the concept of Sikh committee, which is that the British officer will have all these different missile or generals together, and this committee is going to rule Punjab. However, as soon as the British sell off Kashmir, the Sikhs will lose it and they will again rebel after the Treaty of Lahore. The British will again defeat them and they will sign the second treaty, which is called the Treaty of Bhairawal. I'll read it out to you. You see, Sikhs are there, consolidation under Ranjit Singh. 3 of his sons are killed. Dilip Singh finally comes to power with Rani Jindan as the regent, Hira Singh as the wazir. However, selfish and corrupt leaders are waiting for something to happen, and now this will lead to the indiscipline in the army and the first Anglo-Sikh war. The Sikh saw the British move as an act of aggression, but Lal Singh will trigger the war. The English military campaign and annexation of Gwalior, Sindh and Afghanistan had already raised a lot of suspicions. Sudden increase in the troops near Satluj, and the Sikh army crossed the river Satluj on 11 December 1845 and the English declared war. This is the role of Lal Singh, which is that he made them cross the Satluj. Now you tell me one thing. This story, is it a similar pattern to what we've done till this point? Sikh leader is Dilip Singh, Rani Jindan and Hira Singh. It's the same standard story everywhere. Now what is going to happen is, the war is going to happen. There will be 5 battles at Mudki, Firozshah, Bundelwal, Aizawl. Do not learn. And basically, Lal Singh, who commanded close to 50,000 men, along with his friend Teja Singh, will not fight only. So it is the treachery of Lal Singh and Teja Singh which in turn led to what is called the Treaty of Lahore, because the Sikhs were not in a position to fight only. This treachery is similar to Mir Jafar. So what Sikhism is a revision of everything what happened. Lal Singh did a Raghunath Rao move, and Lal Singh and Teja Singh did what is called the Battle of Plassey move, which is not help the king itself. So Lal Singh, Teja Singh, exactly same story, go into war, retreat back, and now Dilip Singh is fighting. So there's a story where that history repeats itself. Unfortunately, it is. And very simply, they will then sign what is called the Treaty of Lahore. And the Treaty of Lahore, everything more or less will be sold. More or less. War indemnity of 1 crore. Jalandhar Duab given to the company. Now the British resident is going to sit in Lahore. Dilip Singh was now recognized as the ruler. However, Lal Singh was now wazir. All for just this small position called the wazir's position. Lal Singh was made into wazir. This is what he wanted. The Sikhs will not be able to pay off this 1 crore. So Kashmir will be sold to Gulab Singh for 1 crore rupees. And this will infuriate, wazir is prime minister. This will infuriate the Sikhs. And over the issue of the selling of Kashmir to Gulab Singh for that 1 crore war indemnity, they will again rebel and they will sign what is called the Treaty of Bhairawal. Rani Jindan will be removed. It will be believed that she is the one who rebelled. And the 8 Sikh chiefs will now sit around one British resident. And this is what is going to be now the status quo. Now, simple to simple point. The second, did this make sense? Please, last 15 minutes. Last story, second Anglo-Sikh war. Simple point is, Lal Singh does treachery, crosses over the Satluj, triggers the war, Treaty of Lahore, money asked, money not paid, Kashmir sold, Treaty of Bhairwal, full take control. Make sense? Come on. Yes? Now, what is the Anglo-Sikh war? Guess what is going to be the Anglo-Sikh war? Who is Lal Singh? As I said, a general who wanted to be Wazir. Guess what is going to happen in the Anglo-Sikh war? Guess. You know the answer to this question. Think of it as the third Anglo-Mysore war. Anglo-Maratha war. Everybody is going to realize that the British are exploiting us. They will rebuild and they will again fight. Standard story. Third Maratha war was what? Everybody realizes the British is bad. Everybody realizes the British is bad. But the problem was, by this point of time, Sikhs were very, very weak. This will start with a person called Mulraj. Mulraj was the governor of Multan. He will be removed. British will infuriate him. He will go to everybody and say, this British, this new age men, they will tell us that how should we rule our territory. Let us fight together under the banner of the Sikhs. Lal Singh did not remember that. Teja Singh did not remember that. And basically, the Anglo-Sikh war, they will fight with the British. Too late to realize again, British will defeat everybody in different sectors and humiliate the Sikh sector and take annex Punjab. Somehow the story always remains the same. Always remains the same. I'll read it out to you. Anglo-Sikh war. The Treaty of Bhairwal and Lahore had humiliated the Sikhs. Rani Jindan was sent to Banaras as pensioner. Dalhousie had now become the Governor General of India, and he wanted a solution. Mulraj was the Governor of Multan. He will be replaced by the British. He refused to give up charge, will kill 2 Englishmen. He will revolt with the other Sikhs. He will then start a mass uprising at Multan. Dalhousie will get the reason to annex Punjab completely. And this in turn, 3 battles fought, Sikhs will be fully defeated, and the war will in turn lead to the surrender of the Sikh army. Dalhousie will get a lot of appreciation from the British Parliament. The board will dissolve, everything will be dissolved. Punjab will be fully annexed, controlled by 3 men, the Lawrence brothers, John and Henry Lawrence. And the annexation of Punjab will be very good because the border of the British will become stable on the northwestern sector. Now, very simply, any invasion from that side, from the Afghans, is not possible now. And simple point is that the British had now consolidated their position. And this is the story of how the British expanded in India. I'll discuss subsidiary lines tomorrow. You need to understand something. What have I done with you? Firstly, you tell me, did all of this make sense? This was the only long descriptive part of the syllabus. Long, very descriptive part. One after the other, war after the war. First, you say, basically tell me, do you have a bird's eye view of what happened in each part of India? Be it Bengal, be it Mysore, be it Maratha, be it the Sikh, or be it Carnatic. You have a bird's eye view? Second war did not even had a reason. It was just Mulraj rising, everybody rose, British killed. Okay, now let's try to revise everything. Revise all of these which we've done. So we have Carnatic, we have Bengal, we have Maratha, we have Mysore, and we have Sikh. Now we are going to brainstorm and we are going to understand each of them again. Can we do that? Lal Singh crossed over, he wanted to be Wazir. That is the basic point here. Right? He wanted to be Wazir. That's the simplest point here. Now, Jamil, they did not have the capacity. Gulab Singh was a local governor who had the capacity to pay 1 crore. To take 1 crore. Carnatic, how did the Carnatic war happen? How did the Carnatic war happen? How did the Carnatic war happen? There is 1, 2, 3. There is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, right? So, first Carnatic War, reason, Austrian War of Succession. One Austrian War of Succession happens, the English and the French fight in Europe, that spills over into India and they fight in the Carnatic sector. Second is called the War of Succession in India. Succession in India, which is nothing but the concept of Nasir Jang, Muzaffar Jang, Chand Sahib and Anwaruddin. Third is the 7 Years War. I'll write their names so that everything is clear here. It is Nasir Jang, English, Anwaruddin. Please pay attention if you have not attended any of these sessions. I'm again repeating it. Versus Chand Sahib, the French, and Muzaffar Jang. The conclusion of this is spilling over of European politics into India. Any issue in Carnatic? Any issue in Carnatic? No? Basic point, very good, perfect. So the conclusion here is European politics in Indian subcontinent. Very good. Now Bengal, we have 2 wars. One is Plassey, the other one is Buxar. Plassey is a combination of black hole plus conspiracy. Plassey is nothing but Siraj ud-Dawla versus Clive, but Mir Jafar did not help, neither did other of his generals, only Mohanlal and Mir Madan actually fight on his side, but does not matter to us. Battle of Buxar is the reason is Mir Qasim removing duty, and it's a triple alliance between Mir Qasim versus plus Suja ud-Dawla and Shah Alam the second versus the English. Buxar is considered very, very important, will be followed by the treaty. If any one treaty you need to remember, it is called the Treaty of Allahabad. Treaty of Allahabad will give the Diwani rights to the British, and we will actually take the Bengal story forward tomorrow when we'll talk about land revenue policy. Bengal, any issue? Come on, everyone. No? Very good. Great. So you see, these are not difficult. These are just, you have to have a larger perspective in the whole story. Okay. Now, first Maratha is because of Raghunath Rao. It's because of Raghunath Rao. And it will end with the Treaty of Salbai. Second is because of Baji Rao II. This is Treaty of Basin. And third is the retaliation of Marathas. And this will end everything. What is the treaty here? Treaty of what? Come on. Treaty of Poona it is called, mostly called Treaty of Poona. Very good. Now I give you a very important, very simple. How do you remember this? Salbus. Salbus. You British, Salbus. Salbus. Can you remember it? You can learn the sequence of the treaties. I'm giving you a way of learning it. If you don't want to learn it, don't learn it. Don't learn it if you don't want to learn it. No issues at all. Here the treaties are what? Here the treaties are Aix-la-Chapelle. It is Treaty of Madras, and it is called Treaty of Paris. Paris. So let's make an acronym here also. Let's make an acronym here also. A. No, it's not Madras. Pondicherry. Sorry. Not Madras. Pondicherry. Pondicherry. A. Popa. Carnatic. Can you remember A. Popa? A. Popa. Which is A. Pondicherry. Pa. And in the Marathas, it is Baskar Sal. Or no, rather, the other way around. Sal Bas. Sal Bas. Now, Mysore. First is checking power. Second is American War. Third is Travancore. Fourth is Napoleon. Here it is the easiest of easiest. Treaty of Madras, Treaty of Mangalore, Treaty of Seringapatam. Don't have to. Here there is no treaty. Now let's do Mysore. Mysore is the easiest. Madman Seri. Your Siri is mad. Madman Siri. Madman Siri. And last but not the least is Sikh. This is Lal Singh and Teja Singh. This is Mulraj. Mulraj or retaliation. And basically here you have Lahore Bhairoval. And there is no treaty in the end itself. So Punjab becomes Labha. Now can you remember the treaties and understand the reasons? Does this work? Does this simplify the issue? So when I will meet you tomorrow, I'll tell you the way to learn them chronologically also. I will show it to you. I will do a question with you. But now when we talk about this story, does it make sense? Amritsar is Ranjit Singh. So he's not involved in the wars. Is this clear? Everybody's with me because I want to just talk to about one small thing and then we break for today. Okay, now we're doing it, Sharfuddin, according to the importance for the examination. Okay, now very simple point. I did decline of Mughals. Then I did advent of Europeans. Then I did with you the regional kingdoms. Then I finally done with you expansion of British. Now there were two types of expansion. One is direct conquest, the other is indirect conquest. And we will first discuss tools of indirect conquest tomorrow, indirect conquest, which is called subsidiary alliance and doctrine of lapse. The first thing we do tomorrow. Once we're done with that, we will now shift to another set of issues, which is called consolidation of Raj. In this, we will discuss tomorrow judiciary, the police, and the ICS, Indian Civil Services. Police, I will give you my own article. I will get it uploaded into it. You will get a snapshot of that. And once we are done with that, the most important discussion we will do, and a very important section for the mains, for any examination all across the world, economic policy of the Raj. So 1, 2, 3, 4 done. This we will discuss 4 aspects. Land revenue, please don't miss tomorrow and day after. Beat anything. Raj means British Raj. Then we'll do commercialization. And I will tell you one very simple thing. The things I will tell you for commercialization, land revenue, you will never find in any book. Because I'm a specialist of economic and labor history. So I will give you an understanding which is beyond even optional level to make you understand how did the British and what did the British actually do. So we'll do commercialization, deindustrialization. We'll do new concepts of El Nino and other things in this. And last is drain. Once we are done with this, or by Friday or next Monday for sure, then our orientation will shift. Then it will go to social policy, in which we will discuss what is called as socio-religious reform. And by next Friday, we will be in the national movement itself. Are you getting the basic point? If you want to go to the webinar, sure, today Tuesday, yeah, you can go to the webinar. But I'm trying to tell you what I'm trying to do here. So if you understand, this is part of just creating the tower, which is going to take us to 1857. So if this is the case, thank you so much for your patience. I hope at least I've done justice to this area called the expansion of the British Raj in India. You are able to understand the basic points. Tomorrow we do the trick and do a question. Thank you. Please take care. I will see you tomorrow again at 5. Don't stress over this area. Just if you can remember these basic points, your work is done. If you can remember these basic points, your work is done. Mulraj, the person who controls the Sultan, what we call as the Multan sector. Every topic I'm repeating at least 4 to 5 times in the class itself, so that you don't have to revise even after class. Right? Thank you. Take care. Have a very, very, very good night. And I will see you tomorrow